And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me, and I most certainly appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, all over everywhere, and I'm not really sure where to begin. The Philly riots are going on right now. Shout out to Slightly Offensive. He got jumped out there for what reason? I have no idea. These riots have no particular goal or aim or anything like that. It just kind of, happening. Guys out there stealing washing machines. I expect the general thievery like flat screen TVs, alcohol, DiGiorno frozen pizza. I expect that. But a whole washing machine? Like to wash your clothes with, and the man had the nerve to have a dolly. I'm sure he stole a dolly as well. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna put on my big brain right here. I'm gonna steal some household appliances. I'm gonna go into this store, steal the dolly, and then steal a whole washing machine. A black washing machine at that. That must be racist. But anyway, we'll talk about the Philly riots and the shooting that happened, because the shooting was 1,000% justified from what I saw on camera. We'll speak about that also. Joe Biden obviously has some cognitive issues. What is his disorder? I have no idea. Don't get me to lying, but something is wrong. Talking about, we can't stand 4 more years of George. George who? We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And again, thank y'all for joining. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. If you enjoy my content, if you enjoy the live streams, the pre-recorded videos, all that good stuff, go ahead and like the video right now. Share the video as well. Do all that good stuff for me. I'd most certainly appreciate you for that. Yeah, we got a whole lot going on. That's right, newly awakened. A whole washing machine. Like, the entire thing. You might as well go and sort the whole kitchen. Get you a stove, a dishwasher, a dryer, the whole thing. Get you some countertops, backsplash, cabinets, hardware, the whole 9 yards. Tell them something. They want bread. They want bread to eat. Well, I'm not really sure what kind of bread you're going to cook in the washing machine. All right, you're trying to clean your soiled clothing, not to make no bread. All right, or maybe the bread just happened to be within the washing machine itself. So you had to get a whole dolly to wheel the washing machine out to get that because it had bread inside. Got it. Or maybe he wanted to trade the washing machine for bread. Like there was no other smaller thing he could have taken in there to exchange for bread. Got it. And the reason why I'm saying that about bread is because remember what AOC said about these riots and looting, talking about, they just want bread. They just want something to eat. They're just trying to help. They have no resources. Come on. Stop the madness. Stop the madness. Even if you go to the ghetto in America, they live much better, like way beyond second world countries even. Better than the average person probably lives in China. And definitely better than any third world country. So this whole excuse of, they got to loot because they have no other opportunity, please stop. It's just an excuse to go out there and steal some stuff. If that dude, Walter Wallace Jr., if he was to die just, by some other Philly bull, as they say out there in Philly, what y'all say, bull? Not boy or man, bull, B-O-L. If it was another Philly bull that died out there by the hand of another Philly bull, then it would have been no problem. Nobody would have cared. You might have had 2 or 3 guys with RP t-shirts on, and that would have been a wrap. That's it. Okay? Mama would have been at a funeral crying, and then on to the next one. Okay, it might have been a shooting at the repast, a shooting at the funeral, who knows? And we've seen that happen before, so don't even pretend like I'm telling no lie. That's the reality. So yeah, let's talk about the shooting right quick, and then we get into the looting situation because that's kind of like right on my mind, top of mind, right on my chest. Let's get it off right now. Now, I think most of you saw my video, and I did not play the entire shooting in my video, because I don't want to get it kicked off of YouTube. But I put the entire thing on the website. You can go and see it right now if you want to at anthonyblogan.com. But anyway, The guy had the police called on him. I think it was his mom that called the police on him because he had a knife. He was dangerous. He was armed and dangerous. Now, when you see, when you get a call of somebody that's armed and dangerous, it's not always with a handgun or some type of, gun, rifle, handgun, shotgun. And by the way, a quick little break in the story about Walter Wallace Jr. I was looking at some of the footage from the looted Walmart out there in Philly, and in the front part of the Walmart, like in a little entrance in the lobby, there was a bunch of spent rifle casings on the ground. Rifle, I'm talking about 223, 5.56 rifle casings. Now, why were there so many spent rifle casings on the ground? Like, what's really going on? But I digress. I'll get back to that in a minute anyway. So, Walter Wallace's mom calls the police, allegedly. Somebody calls the police. Now, he's out there on a block with a knife. Oh, somebody said, Santo Bartes said he had that knife to cut bread for his kids. Hilarious. But anyway, he's out there with the knife, armed and dangerous. Apparently, he had been beaten on his mother, and he was, out there waving a knife around, threatening people. So the police get called. Now, the police get there, and they're ordering him to put the knife down over and over again. Put the knife down, put the knife down, put the knife down. He is refusing commands, and he is approaching the officers, and then he begins to rush the officers. Now, he gets within 10 feet of the officer with the knife, okay? Clearly in his hand. You can see it clear as day on the tape. And again, it's on my website, anthonyblogan.com. You can see the entire thing. So they have their guns drawn, telling them, put the knife down. Two officers telling him this. He's refusing the commands. He's charging them with a knife. So, of course, they shoot him, and unfortunately, he dies. But what was the alternative? Now, some say, or it should have been a taser. All right, well, check it out. Number one, the guns are already drawn. That's probably the best way because you're more likely to drop the knife. When you see the gun come out, you don't want to get shot. You put the knife down. When you see a taser, you might chance it. Now, let's say the taser was used and that's what they went with. The taser is not that effective. 50% effective from what I've been reading. So that's, at that point, you're gambling with your life. If the taser is not effective, then the knife's still going to be effective. The knife, when the knife hits you, it's going to be effective, period. It has a 100% effective rate if it hits you. When you get stabbed, ain't no, oh, well, it wasn't effective. The leads didn't go off. It didn't send the right pulse. And the knife is going to hit you regardless, period. So it's 100% effective. But a taser, not so much. So at that point, you're gambling with your knife, with your life. No pun intended with the knife thing. So you're going to use the gun. All right. And shout out to Brandon Tatum. He said it. He was like, if you're going to use a taser, usually there's a second officer that has deadly force to back you up in case the taser doesn't work. It goes off. It's ineffective. The guy still has his knife. So the backup is the lethal force to go ahead and end the threat. But you got two officers that are acting independently. That couldn't have worked. Regardless of what the situation is, you have a knife. You have a deadly weapon, period. And then some said, oh, they should have shot him in the leg. They should have shot him so many times. Well, what's the appropriate amount of times to shoot somebody? How many times does it take? You done seen guys get shot 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times and not even die. Okay? Jacob Blake got shot multiple times and didn't die. So what's the amount of times you need to shoot? The whole point of shooting someone is not necessarily to kill them. It's to end the threat. Now, if the threat is ended and they live like Jacob Blake up there in Milwaukee, then, okay, the objective was met. You were not trying to kill him necessarily, but the threat had to get ended. But unfortunately, people often die when in a situation like that. When the guns come out and they get shot, they probably die. That's just what it is. You can get shot one time and die. Okay, I think that might have been Breonna Taylor. Got hit with one of the bullets she got hit with, it killed her. Like almost instantly. You can get shot one time and die. You can get shot in your leg and die. If you're getting shot, you can die. The best way to avoid all of that whole situation is to not have your knife out to begin with. Put the knife down when the officers tell you to put the knife down. And then some say, well, maybe that should have been a second or third option to pull the gun out. Well, the first option was the commands, verbal commands, put the knife down. That was option number one. He's not listening. So option number 2 is, okay, we're going to pull our guns out. And when he is charging the officers with the knife, they have to shoot him. What else are you going to do? Put it to you like this. What if it was you, this regular person, and you got a guy with a knife charging you, and you got your gun out telling him to drop it? Like, what are you going to do? Try to get a taser and fight him off with that? Or are you going to go ahead and shoot him? You don't want to shoot this man. Nobody wants to shoot somebody necessarily. You're trying to defend yourself and to end the threat. So you're going to go ahead and shoot. Now, some are going to say, oh, officers, they got to be held to a higher standard. Well, what higher standard is that? I mean, they're still human beings at the end of the day. They're not, this is not Judge Dredd. These are not, what's that? The Terminator T-1000 or whatever. This is not that. These are human beings. They still have a right to protect themselves in their life. They got kids and the family and the wife to go home to like everybody else does. So they can protect themselves the same as everybody else. So it is what it is. It's unfortunate that he died, but whose fault is it? Now, some said, well, he had mental illness. He was on medication. Well, I mean, okay. So I guess the alternative would have been to have a social worker come out there, a therapist come out there. Now, what is a therapist going to do with this knife-wielding maniac? Nothing but get stabbed up. So there's no purpose in bringing them out there. So you got to be in the right state of mind to want therapy, to have that actually even help you. If you're not in the right mind, like you might be high on drugs, just in a bad mental state, your medication may have had an adverse effect. You might not be on your medication. The therapist is not going to help you in that situation. If you're actively mentally ill and you're harming people and harming yourself, you don't bring in a therapist. You bring in someone to make sure that nobody gets hurt. You make sure that they don't get hurt and that nobody around them gets hurt. Unfortunately, he got hurt because he could not follow commands. It's as simple as that. So as a result of that, you got people that want to be out here rioting, so-called protesting, but really rioting in the streets of Philadelphia. Now, what is looting a Walmart going to do to have to seek justice for Walter Wallace Jr.? How is that going to actually help him? What is that going to do to bring this man back or to give his family any kind of comfort? You know, his mom out there crying. How is that going to help her? Now, I'm trying to figure it out. It's not going to help. Now, I have video. I got a video of not the shooting, but the whole situation with the washer. I want you guys to see this to understand what's going on. Matter of fact, I got a few videos. Shout out to Andy No. Shout out to a lot of guys that are out here with these good videos on the scene. Jack Pasobig, Disclose TV. I'm going to bring up all these videos. Y'all just hang tight. I'm going to bring it right on up. And if you like the video so far, if you're enjoying the content, please give the video a thumbs up. Share it. Do all that good stuff. Oh, here we go. Perfect video. Right on time. All right. Now, this comes from Andy No. And this is live on Fox News, if I'm not mistaken. Live on TV now. So this is not edited or some kind of Photoshop. This is live on Fox News where this video was captured. And let's check it out. And the caption that Andy No wrote, that's Andy NGO. That's how you spell his name. I think he's some Southeast Asian. I'm not really sure. Vietnamese. You guys know in the comments what he is, but irrelevant. The caption says, at the BLM riot in Philadelphia, a looter wheels a large appliance out of the store. Now, I'm not sure what this store is, but we're going to see what's going on. The sound is kind of low, but you could just see this is a whole washing machine. If you guys can't see it, if you're just listening to audio only, he has a black washing machine and he's wheeling it out on a dolly. Now, he does have a mask on, so you get a few good extra W points for that. Shout out to the mask wearer. And he has a book bag. He looks really well organized. And he's looking at the camera. And he waves at the camera. Now, it's kind of hard to see, but he's looking at the camera and waving with his large appliance. Okay, you got cars just all in the parking lot, crazy. A washing machine. Now, AOC told us, and in the background, see guys just carrying all kind of stuff. I'm seeing computer printers, flat screen TVs. Guys got trash bags out there like it's Halloween. Like you about to go get some candy. These guys are looting the store like they going trick-or-treating, you understand, with large black trash bags. Everybody looks very well dressed. I don't see no impoverished people. I don't see, desperate and starving people out there. You understand? I'm seeing big trash bags full of stuff. And complete with this guy with a whole big washing machine. All right. On a dolly. He's probably going to a U-Haul truck or something like that to put it in there and put it in his house or wherever he's trying to send it. He's probably going to sell it on Craigslist or something like that. That'll make the most sense. That's a pretty high ticket item right there. But there's something else I wanted to show you as well. Now, this is from some kind of store, some kind of retail store.
Look at this. Bitch.
I'm gonna turn the sound off. They're doing a little bit of cussing, but what they're doing right here, they're just stealing stuff. Let me see. They got clothes, shirts, just feminine stuff, and then it just kind of floods. Hold on, there you go. Here come the floodgates. You got all these guys coming in deep. What are you guys even going to steal? What are these men going to steal from this, what appears to be women's store? I mean, it's like opening up a can of roaches. It's crazy. I mean, this is wild. All because somebody got shot because they had a knife? Come on. Don't nobody care. Oh, the riots, ABL, the riots are the voice of the voiceless. Cut it out. Stop. Be for real. Nobody really cares. And here's the Wally World that got shut up, apparently. This is from Jack Posobiec. All right, no sound on this one. It's just the video. And if you can't see it, they're running in and out of the Walmart. Decent little lines, single file lines coming in and out of one entrance where somebody broke in. Cars are like loading up stuff like they are shopping for real. Pulling up to the curb, loading stuff off. And the irony of it is this big American flag right there in the shot, which is crazy. This is not really necessarily American behavior, but maybe it is nowadays. Maybe it is part of American culture to go out here and steal stuff, which is crazy. That's not us, but it is what it is. All right. And this goes on for like 2 minutes. I'm seeing flat screen TVs. I'm seeing big buggies full of stuff, big trash bags full of stuff. I'm seeing a little bit of everything. I'm seeing that guy carrying the flat screen TV with no box. Where's the box at, sir? Why? How did it get unboxed? Matter of fact, I'm going to rewind a little bit. This man, you can see, hold on. I'm going to try to pause it right at the moment where he takes it. So it's like right there, right by this little stop sign or this little no parking sign with all the cars in front of it parked. You got a whole flat screen TV, like you're carrying it with no box. Somebody's carrying some shelving. I don't get it. Multiple different boxes look the same. They're probably all TVs. These orange boxes. My man right here, like he got about 2 or 3 of them. Oh, because, justice for Walter Wallace. You're right. Here's a Foot Locker. Of course, they got looted. No, they got to get the Foot Locker. That's mandatory. All right, I'm turning that sound off. Ain't nothing but a helicopter. But yeah, you got to get the Foot Locker. Jordans and everything else going to be stolen out of there. Work boots, nah, we're not going to do no work boots. We don't need none of that. That's not even really the plan at this particular point. All right. And it's like a free for all. So are we rioting? Is it a peaceful protest? And did I see the governor of the governor of Philadelphia? Did I see the governor of Pennsylvania or the mayor of Philly call it a peaceful protest? You guys out there in Pennsylvania, let me know what's going on. Who called it a peaceful protest? That's what I'm trying to figure out. If you're out there stealing whatever you want to steal, how is that considered a peaceful protest? What does that got to do with protesting? You're just stealing. Oh, and one of my favorite tweets is from our friend, Marianne Williamson. I'm going to bring that up right quick. Y'all just hang tight. Here it is. Perfect. Okay. Now, do you see this tweet? This is a real tweet. Marianne Williamson, and if you can't see it, I'll read it for you. She says, there are people in this country more concerned about a Walmart being looted than about an innocent man being killed. Many of them tout the Bible, but thou shalt not loot is not in there. Thou shalt not kill sure is. Now, spoiler alert for Marianne Williamson. I'm not a Bible scholar. I've not been to theology school or anything like that. But I know a little bit about the Ten Commandments, and one of them is thou shalt not what? Say it with me now. Thou shalt not steal. So yes, it is in the Bible, Miss Marianne Williamson. And then she edited. She didn't edit. She kind of like added to her tweet talking about, oh, actually, thou shalt not steal is of course in there. But my point about priorities remains the same. So no, your point does not remain the same. Your whole point was about, you touting the Bible, but thou shalt not loot's not in there. Thou shalt not steal is in there. Period. It's in there. Don't steal. And then the comments were crazy talking about, well, they're taking back the resources that were looted from them to begin with. It's like, man, please. Ain't nobody loot no resources from West Philly. That's not going on, okay? Ain't nobody loot nothing. They're out there stealing because they want to. Period. Point blank. That's really just it. So, Marianne Williamson, you're crazy. But hey, she was fun when she was running because she was a nut job. I could tell she was crazy from the beginning. All this esoteric, crazy stuff is like, I need you to come back to planet Earth. Earth to Marianne, come back down to the solid ground. How about that? Yeah, and don't bear false witness. Don't cover thy neighbor's wife. I know a little bit about the Bible, but the funny part is that Marianne Williamson is a so-called spiritual leader. I can't tell. That's like, being a math teacher that can't even add 2 plus 2. All right. You should know some of the most basic things about the Bible and about Christianity and whatnot before you say anything. Okay. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill. It's simple. But thou shalt not kill, what do you mean? So it's like, okay, if you have a knife and it's like right here in my face, I just got to get stabbed. I got to defend myself. I mean, so that you can defend yourself. You have the right to do that. That's not a problem. I don't care what religious part of the world that you're from. Defending yourself is okay. If someone has a knife right in your face and they're threatening to kill you with it, defend yourself. Self-defense is not a crime. Not at all. All right. And I think Marianne Williamson is or was Oprah's spiritual leader. So that tells you all I need to know right there. I don't think Oprah's like some pillar of virtue when it comes to spirituality or any kind of religion, but I digress. All right. Thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience on the internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the chat, shout out to you guys enjoying the chat. I see you in there. The chat is hysterical. Yes. Give me a thumbs up on the video. Share the video. And if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and do that as well. And when you subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. Alrighty, what else we got going on? Oh, to put a button on a whole riots thing. These riots do nothing but just kind of radicalize people the other direction. If you are a leftist or just kind of center left, like a normie liberal, who's not really understanding what's going on with politics, you're not even really invested in it. All you do, you pretty much just live a normal life. You going to work, going to school, taking care of your kids, enjoying family life, living, doing whatever, and you're not engaged in the political world. When you see people in Philly just go to the Walmart and steal flat screen TVs, whole washing machines for their house on a dolly, you're like, wait a minute. This is not a peaceful protest. This is opportunity. You see that same thing all over the nation. Your story is not unique. You're not having a unique experience out there in Philadelphia. The same thing has been happening all over the country for years now. It was a break in the action for a while. After Trump got elected, it was a break in it. But all of a sudden, miraculously, in 2020, it starts back up. Why? And just, monitor all these things. You'll see what's going on. Are you going to have any more of these racially charged riots after the election? Is that going to happen? Because I feel like they died down after the 2016 election. All right. It started to get cold. There was no more point in doing it because they lost. But then in 2020, okay, we got a little bit of warmth. Election's coming up. Let's refuel the coffers with some more money to go out here and loot and shoot. Also, remember I told you about the Walmart where the front of it was shot up? And if you don't remember, or if you weren't in here when I said it, I'll go back a little bit. During the so-called peaceful protests out there in Philly where they were looting the Walmart, I saw footage this morning And they were out there doing a live shot, and they looked at the ground, all the debris on the ground, and they had spent rifle casings on the ground. I'm talking about 100 or more casings on the ground, spent rifle casings. So I'm like, wait a minute. Why am I seeing all these rifle casings on the floor? Who's been shooting out here? All right. Apparently, the police out there in Philly found a truckload of weapons that were going to go to the so-called protesters out there. So who's bringing these trucks of weapons in for the so-called protesters, huh? Oh, Kyle Rittenhouse, he should have been at home. He shouldn't have had his gun. Well, they got the guns, so somebody got to be the protector and have their gun too. I mean, that's just facts. Even if he was not to be in that particular part of, what was that, Kenosha, wherever he was, he still needed to have his gun to protect himself from those that got guns out there that are just crazy and ready to start stuff. So, I mean, it is what it is. But hey, thank y'all again for joining. We got a whole lot going on tonight. It's a whole lot happening. Yeah, don't be out there rioting. Bottom line, that's just a long and short. Don't riot. Don't loot. Don't steal. Keep your hands to yourself. Stop being sticky fingers. Just mind your business. How about that? That's all I ask. That's all I would want from anybody is just to do the right thing. And yeah, shout out Free Kyle Rittenhouse for sure. Free Kyle. He did nothing wrong. Self-defense. He was not trying to hurt anybody. He was not a malicious person. He was just doing what's right. And I think that anybody, if they were in his shoes, do the same thing. You're not trying to hurt anybody. He ran from some of them guys that had the guns on them, but different story. I digress. Let's talk about Joe Biden a little bit and his cognitive decline. Now, I don't know what's going on with the man specifically. I don't know if he has some kind of disease. I can't diagnose him. I'm not a doctor. But something ain't right with Joe Biden, and anybody can see it. If you see this man, look into his eyes, you know that is something missing. Something's just not really congealing all the way it's supposed to be. And he had this crazy speech. I have no idea what he was talking about, but at a certain point, before the crazy speech, he was on this live stream with George Lopez and Ana Navarro. And pause for a moment. Why is Ana Navarro doing live streams with Joe Biden? You're talking about you're a Republican. I can't tell. Okay, you don't like Trump, fine. That's okay. You cannot like Trump as a conservative. But why are you doing a live stream with Joe Biden? If you don't like Trump, don't support the other side. So you mean to tell me, Ana Navarro, the so-called Republican, that you hate Trump so much, as a conservative, quote unquote, you're going to go campaign for Joe Biden, being on his live stream, publicly supporting him as a member of the media? Oh, okay. I think anybody with a pair of eyes and a brain can tell that this person, Ana Navarro, is not a conservative at all. But different story, I digress. Anyway, so there was a live stream with Joe Biden, his wife, George Lopez, and Ana Navarro. And at a certain point, Joe Biden was talking about, matter of fact, I'm going to show you the clip. I got to show you the clip so you can kind of understand what I'm talking about. Apparently, he was trying to talk about Trump, but said George. So it's like, okay, George, why are you talking about George? I'm going to play it right quick, and then I'm going to give you the media's explanation of it. Hold on, let's check it out. And if you guys can't see it, if you listen to audio only, it says Joe Biden. This is from Steve Guest. He just posted a clip. Steve Guest says Joe Biden confuses President Trump with George W. Bush. Quote, because of who I'm running against, George, unquote. And I think that was not George W. I think that was George H.W. Let's check it out.
This is the most consequential, not because I'm running, but because who I'm running against. This is the most consequential election in a long, long, long time. And the character of the country, in my view, is literally on the ballot. What kind of country we're going to be. 4 more years of George is going to find ourselves in a position where if Trump gets elected, we're going to be in a different world. And
okay, now people were trying to say on the left that George Lopez was there, taken out of context. He was talking to George. Well, George Lopez was not the president, was he? He was not in any kind of public office. He was not in a particular thing that would have him be elected for 4 years. And he was saying we can't afford 4 more years. Let's run it back right quick. And I'm going to just kind of break it down a little bit before we move on.
The character of the country, in my view, is literally on the ballot. What kind of country we're going to be? 4 more years of George, he's going to find ourselves in a position where if Trump gets elected, we're going to be in a different world.
So George, and he kind of stumbles around trying to find his place. And then he finally says Trump. He was trying to say Trump, but instead said George. And if you notice, Jill Biden, his wife, is right there, his handler. It needs to be right there because, okay, my thing is this. All right, you want to do a live stream, that's fine. Why you got to have your wife right there the whole time in most of these streams? No, Trump doesn't do that. Nobody else does that. She's right there because that's his caretaker. Obviously, something's not right with this man. And you saw when he was struggling with George and trying to say Trump, really, she opened the mouth a couple times, like really softly. Let's check it out one more time. You just notice what Jill Biden does with her mouth. Check it out.
The character of the country, in my view, is literally on the ballot. What kind of country we're going to be? 4 more years of George, You
saw it? Let's roll it back one more time.
George, he's going to find ourselves in a position where if Trump gets elected, we're going to.
See, she did it twice. Before that, she was straight lit, like, and then it went like this. So it's like, okay, are you miming here? Are you what is this? Are we doing like what do they call it when you got the puppet and you say something? Is that what's going on here? Is he a puppet for Jill Biden? That's kind of what it seems like. You throw in your voice so can't nobody see your lips move, but you can say something to him so you can pick it up. It's crazy. But he was talking about, in my humble opinion, George H.W. Bush, because remember, he ran in 1988. That's when George H.W. became the president, because you had Reagan for 8 years, and then under Reagan, you had George H.W. as a vice president. So 4 more years of George wouldn't make sense for George H.W. Bush because he had already been there for 8 years. So it's like, okay, do you want 4 more years? He went back all the way to 88. You talking about 32 years ago. He's not right mentally. Everybody knows it. Everybody can see it. I don't know what's going on with the man as far as a particular disorder. I can't name it, but we see what's happening. Remember when he said, oh, your kids, they don't play the phonograph when they go to bed? Phonograph? What phonograph? Ain't no phonograph. Who is a phonograph? What is that? What is that? Nobody has that. A record player? A phonograph? You went back to the 60s and the 70s. You went all the way back to the disco era, the Afro era, the bell bottoms and all that good stuff. You went all the way back because his mind is not right. He's not there. He's constantly having these issues out on the campaign trail. That's why he keeps calling the lid every day, not campaigning at all. When he does campaign, he campaigns right next to his house in Wilmington, Delaware, or in his basement. Or he'll go to Philly or somewhere close to, like, Jersey, somewhere not far from home, 30, 45-minute drive. He can just go real quick and not be on a plane too long, to not have all that kind of stress on him, because I feel like when he travels, that's when it gets triggered, when he's really starting to have a bunch of problems. And I heard him say today that he is Kamala Harris's running mate. And he was serious. You think I'm playing, huh? Matter of fact, I'll play that clip right quick. All right. Let me see. Biden. Okay. Running mate. I'm going to find that right quick. Hold on, you guys. And thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience. Like the video if you like what you're hearing so far. And give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate you if you did. Oh, here it is. Perfect.
My name's Joe Biden.
I'm gonna put a video on the screen right quick. Hey, this is hilarious. You know where I found this clip at? This is on Donald Trump's YouTube page. Hilarious. Trump is one of the biggest trolls on the internet, for sure. But it's effective. People say, oh, Trump tweets too much. It's too vulgar. Bye. It's like, man, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. How about that? If it works, then keep on doing it. That's how I feel. But let's check it out right quick. This is on Trump's YouTube page. You can check it out right now if you want to. Go to Donald J. Trump YouTube, and here's the video. I'm not sure where he is. I think he's in Georgia. Yeah, because it says text GA to 30330, and it says battle for the soul of the nation.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm Jill Biden's husband, and I am Kamala's running mate. You all think I'm kidding, don't you?
Nah, I don't think you play. I think you dead serious. You're Kamala's running mate. So he knows that he has not much time left to really be active enough to not like he's just totally sick. I mean, he doesn't look good right now, honestly, but the more he travels and campaigns and is out there, exerting himself, he's going to look terrible. It's the same thing that happened to Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton was doing a lot of campaigning in 2016 in that era, and she looked beat down. I'm talking about beat to death. It was crazy. She could barely move one day. You guys saw that video, the infamous video where she was on a curb and was stuck, couldn't move 2 feet to the Sprinter van that was right in front of her because she was exhausted. And this was first thing in the morning. So it was like, all right, if it's 9 a.m. and you tired like this, you might want to go ahead and just call it lit like Joe Biden does and not even do nothing more for the day. Don't do no traveling. Don't do nothing. I think the virus actually helped Biden because it gave him a reason to not travel, to not campaign, and to also have very small crowd sizes. Because when I say, nobody's going to these Biden events, nobody's even really caring about the Biden events, people will say, oh, he wants small crowd sizes. He wants to adhere to the COVID-19 restrictions. But then when I say, what about the BLM rallies? They say, oh, no, because racial injustice is a public health issue, and you got to be out there. So they totally ignore it. The so-called experts, the same ones that say, you got to take this vaccine, remdesivir, all kind of crazy stuff, expensive, IV needle, got to bang needles, all this and that, want to get you hooked on it. The same people that want to hook you on that also say that, well, the BLM riots don't cause any kind of COVID-19 spike. And it's okay when you have these because you have racism and discrimination. That is an actual public health issue. So you got to fight for that. So we're not even going to talk about those. It's like, man, come on. If you're going to have a big crowd is a big crowd, regardless of who it is, where it is, doesn't really matter. So what? It's crazy how they're just trying to, and I saw some of the hearing today for Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Now it was Twitter, Facebook, and Google because Instagram is the same thing as Facebook. It's both owned by Facebook. And it was some good moments there. I like how Ted Cruz was able to tear into Jack Dorsey. Oh, and speaking of Jack Dorsey, did you guys see him today during the hearing when Ted Cruz was tearing into him? Now, I don't know what kind of look Jack Dorsey is going for, but I can't really say I'm feeling this new look too much. Hold on. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you before and after, just so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from. Now, Jack Dorsey is the CEO of Twitter. He's the guy that founded Twitter. All right. Now, let me find an earlier picture of Jack. Matter of fact, I think this might be Jack in his days of hanging out with D. Ray McKesson, the Black Lives Matter guy. And the funniest part is that Jack had on a Blackbird shirt. Matter of fact, hold on. That's going to be probably the best one to find. Remember D. Ray McKesson, the guy that used to have on the blue vest all the time, talking about, the Planet of the Apes, they're racist against me. Not even knowing that the ape had on the blue vest back in the 60s when it first came out. But I digress. Now, Jack says, we're not trying to silence anybody, all this, that, and the third. But here's Jack back, it might have been 2016 or so, 2017, probably like 2016. And that's him right there on the left with his Stay Woke shirt on. And that's D-Ray right there, the guy that wears the blue vest all the time. Now, I don't know what the deal was with the blue vest. Like, was there a particular reason for the vest? And if you don't know who D-Ray is, this guy was one of the main figures in Black Lives Matter. I've not seen him at all lately or recently. I don't know where he is. He probably got a big bag of money and is off on the island somewhere chilling. But he was one of the main provocateurs that was out there during Ferguson and Baltimore, Maryland. He aided and abetted burning those cities down. Terrible person. He was getting paid 6 figures as an administrator at a school in St. Louis before he became a professional agitator. So if you were getting paid 6 figures to work at a school and just be chilling, how much are you getting paid now? But I digress. Now here's Jack with his Stay Woke shirt on. It says hashtag Stay Woke, and it has a black bird underneath it. That's a Twitter logo. That's intentionally black like that to have solidarity with Black Lives Matter. So do you think Jack would ever censor anything that comes from Black Lives Matter? He has basically a BLM shirt on his body right now, and he's right next to the guy that's part of BLM. And they had like a little bromance for a while. If you would have told me that they got married, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'll move on. That was Jack a few years ago. Now let's go to Jack today. Now, what happened, sir? What are you going through? I'm seeing a lot of stuff going on. I'm seeing a cult leader. I'm seeing Jim Jones mixed with Osama bin Laden. Okay, what is your name? Wahhabi Jack al-Nusra. Peace be upon him. That's what I'm seeing. And the nose ring, you got a nose ring, this big crazy long beard that's really mangy. Your hair's all over your head. What's going on with you, sir? I don't know what's happening, but this is the man right here that is responsible for the New York Times censoring, talking about, oh, well, they put out hacked information, not knowing if it got hacked or not. But since it might have been hacked, they went ahead and censored it. Meanwhile, the information about Trump's tax returns, how did that get acquired? It's illegal to acquire someone's tax returns and put out the information, but that was out there. Did that post get restricted? No, it didn't. You know, anti-Israel, anti-Semitic comments talking about Holocaust denying. That's fine when it comes from, what was it, the Ayatollah Khamenei or somebody over there in Iran. That's totally fine. But a post about Hunter Biden and, you know, the tapes and whatnot, you want to censor that? You're disabling the immediate retweet function, and you putting something between the retweet function because you want to reduce stories' virality. So you don't want a lot of our news on the right to spread very quickly because you're right here at the election. You don't want to help us at all. You want to silence our voices but amplify yours. Okay? You put certain stories on your trending topic section on your website that you like, Jack, but you don't want to have our stories trend. It's deeper than just, oh, well, hacked information. You don't. You want to shut down pages. You want to delete tweets. You want to block people out of their profile. He said that they changed the thing about New York Times and it was wrong to delete. It was wrong to block the tweet. But New York Times cannot tweet from their profile. And he's saying, well, if they log into their profile and delete the tweet, then they can start tweeting. But if you change the policy, then what's the point in them deleting the tweet? It should be okay, right? But I guess not. But this is what's going on. I don't know what he's going through, but obviously something ain't right. The guy is looking terrible. That is, if you don't know, if I didn't say it, that is Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter. Okay. So it's like a swamp people dude, a Unabomber, cracked out Hunter Biden. Cracked out Hunter Biden, that's kind of oxymoron, ain't it? That's oxymoron. I mean, he's already cracked out Hunter Biden, that is. So, you know, that's like saying cracked out crackhead. But I digress. The point is that Jack Dorsey, I don't know what you're going through, boss, but you look pretty terrible. And I'm not surprised that you look that way considering how your platform operates. It's crazy. Facebook is the worst when it comes to censorship of conservatives. Everybody's getting censored for nothing. They censor my page, a lot of people's pages that are just regular people censoring. People losing their monetization and everything on Facebook. YouTube, out of all of them, is the best. Are they perfect? No. Google, perfect? No. But if you got to rank them, Google, YouTube, well, same thing. Google, Facebook, Twitter. I would say Google's the best, followed by Twitter and then Facebook. Facebook, they'll just totally cancel your page. You can't reach anybody with anything. It's worse than just blocking one tweet because if they block one tweet, you can still tweet other things to get the same reach or similar reach. They don't do as much shadow banning, but Facebook, they're terrible. I mean, they just totally shut your page off for a long time and you can't reach anybody or a fraction of those you could reach before. It's crazy. People have their businesses on Facebook, you know, like their actual, you know, storefronts and all that good stuff. And once you get canceled, it's a wrap. It's not like that. There's much more to lose on Facebook than it is on Twitter or anywhere else. So they're the absolute worst, for sure. All right. So thank y'all again for being here. Most certainly appreciate you guys. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me your thumbs up and share the video, like the video, all that. Let me see. All right, let me go back to where I was. I kind of lost my train of thought. Oh, let's go back over here. Now, let's talk about Tony Bobulinski right quick. Did you guys see the interview on Tucker Carlson? Was that last night with Tony Bobulinski? I think that he was really credible, he was very believable because, first of all, here's a guy that is a retired Navy lieutenant, had a really high security clearance, a Q clearance. You're talking about nuclear. So this is a guy that is he's not a joke or a game or anything like that. But he came out and was talking about Hunter Biden and Joe Biden's brother and that whole little cabal they got going on and how they peddled their influence all over the world for money. You had to do with China that was in the works. You had to do with, Ukraine, Russia, Romania, somewhere like UAE or somewhere like in that particular region of the world. Not really sure where it was. Might have been Bahrain, somewhere over there. Now, the funny part is that the left, people like Hunter and Joe, well, Joe specifically, they talk about Russia when it comes to Trump with no evidence of any kind of wrongdoing. When the whole thing about Hunter Biden came out, the pivot and the deflection from the Hunter Biden camp or the Joe Biden camp, same thing. The deflection was, Trump has an account in China. Bank account is secret. But it's like, okay, the account was not secret. If you look at his income disclosure form, it's right there. It's listed on the form. That's why I was telling people when they said, ABL, Trump should pay out his taxes. You put it out right now because we got to see it, the American people. I'm like, okay, Trump is not like you. He's not like me. Most of us, we have a job and we get our form at the end of the year. We go to H&R Block, do TurboTax or whatever, and we file it. You probably get a return. You might be able to get the earned income tax credit. You get money for your kids. That's the regular, average, everyday person. I've been there, done that. But Trump is not that kind of way. On his 1040 form, you're not going to see much of anything except for his claimed income that he paid himself. Really, you're not going to really see the true income or scope of his income. You're not going to see that on the 1040 form. You're going to see it on the income disclosure form. And on that form, the account from China was listed. So how is it secret if it was publicly listed back in 2015? I mean, come on, let's just be real. And the account was formed and closed before he ran for president. So before he came down the escalator, that whole thing was started and finished. And he was trying to do business in China as a private citizen. Meanwhile, you got Hunter and Joe trying to get money over in China off of the Hunter and Joe, off of the Biden name. You had him getting money in Ukraine when he was still the vice president of the U.S. of A. And Joe Biden got on TV and bragged about how he went to Ukraine and threatened them with not giving them $1 billion in loans from the U.S. if they didn't fire the prosecutor, Victor Shokin. And Victor Shokin was the guy looking into Hunter Biden's Burisma Holdings company over in Ukraine. It wasn't his company. Like, he didn't own it, but he was getting paid from them a month, 50 grand a month, 80 grand a month to do what? Hunter Biden has no experience on oil and gas, but yet was able to get that gig. In the same year, he got discharged from the military because of the cocaine test. And he only got an admin discharge rather than a dishonorable If you pop positive for cocaine in the military, you probably should get a dishonorable discharge, right? That's probably how it goes. But Hunter didn't get that. Now, why is that? Why is it that the son of the man who wrote the crime bill in 1994 that will lock you up if you get caught with a rock in your sock? You might get, 25 with the L, right? That's for you. But for his son, admin discharge, no charges, no jail time. So you put positive for crack and don't go to jail and you don't get a dishonorable discharge and you're able to go get a job working for Burisma Holdings 6 months later. Okay, and then you have your dad allegedly go to Ukraine to fire the guy that is looking into that company. And it was not just Ukraine where they did some shady stuff. It was China. It was Russia. It was Romania. It was all over. Kazakhstan. What's going on? Tony Bobulinski provided all the information. He had phones, old phones, BlackBerry. And I know I had a BlackBerry back in the day when I was really, out there, getting money, like doing my whole flyer thing and my marketing. I know how that is. Okay, that was, if you were really in business back then, you had a BlackBerry. But the BlackBerry had the text in it. Everything was preserved. So they're really in some bad shape over there in the Biden camp. What does mainstream media do? Oh, we can't talk about that. What does the internet, what does Jack Dorsey over at Twitter do? Oh, we got to silence that. We can't put that out there. But yet, you can have Trump's tax returns put right on Twitter, talking about, oh, he didn't publish stolen information. They put the pictures right on the website. Well, Rachel Maddow had Trump's tax returns on the website. They put it on TV, like the whole form, the whole 1040 form, right? But you can do that, and that's fine. Oh, okay, that's cool. So we can kind of see how that goes. You could post certain things on the Twitters, but not other things. Got it. Don't even worry about it. I understand what's going on. Don't even lie to me, Jack Dorsey. I see what's happening. Alrighty. But again, thank y'all for joining. You guys are the best in the internet. What was I saying? Oh, I kind of got distracted right quick. It was some kind of little notification that came up. Anyway, Tony Bobulinski, I think that he needs to talk a lot more. Matter of fact, I want to see a whole podcast come of this. You know, the Hunter Biden tapes, not the actual tapes. I don't want to see any of the weird stuff, any of the, I don't want to see none of the other stuff. All I want to see is the corrupt business dealings. That's all that really matters. We know he's a crackhead and a degenerate. That's fine. What really matters here is the degenerate deals that Joe Biden was in on. You going to China and doing some illicit stuff with possibly the CCP, okay? And Joe's getting 10% of that deal, and he wants to be kind of on the low. You can't mention his name in some of the text messages because he got to protect himself. Well, if everything's above board and everything's fine, why can't I mention Joe Biden? Why am I meeting in Romania randomly in some restaurant behind the big column that's, blocking the view of anyone from the outside so they can't take pictures? Why? Why are we doing this? Is this Goodfellas? I mean, are you Whitey Bulger, sir? Are you part of the Irish mob? Are you the Irishman, Joe Biden? What's really going on? But I digress. The point here is that Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, the whole squad are engaged in some really corrupt deals. And I think that this kind of displays what happens in politics in general. All right. You get these guys that peddle their influence. It explains how Maxine Waters can be worth so much money. She might make, $100,000, 125 as a House rep, but it's worth millions. House on the Hills, luxury life. Same thing with Barack Obama. How do you go from being a state senator to the big senator for a 3-year term, then become president, making $400,000 a year max, and you parlay that into being a multi-millionaire with an estate in Martha's Vineyard with a backyard so big you got to get in the car and drive for 15 minutes to get to the backyard, where your backyard is a whole bay. You can go out there and fish, wide mouth bass and everything else. Okay, you could put a boat in your backyard and you got to drive to it. But somehow, I'm to believe that you got your wealth just from being the president. What else? Tell me what else you got your money from, huh? What deal was lined up because you were the president? And the biggest grift, as the cool kids say, of all is the book deal. That's the worst. The absolute worst. But different story, so I digress. We see what's going on with these politicos. That's why a lot of us voted for Trump, because he's not in that world. This is a guy, loved it, hated, critique it or what, made his money outside of that whole sphere. He was able to get money through legitimate means. Well, you could say that the political stuff is legitimate, but I'm talking about like actual private sector stuff. He got a loan from his dad. Okay, so what? If you give the average normie $1 million, it'd be spent in 3 days. If you give the average normie $1 million, they'll spend more than what they can spend according to the tax threshold. You understand? Because you got to pay probably about $400 to $500 of that in taxes. At least 4 of that in taxes. They're going to spend 6, so they're going to be in the whole $200,000. They hit the payday, they hit pay dirt, but now they're in debt, worse than a mortgage with no house, which is crazy. But I'll move on. Thank you all for being here again. I'm going to get to a lot more of these topics when we hit the calls. But for right now, we got the super chats on deck. I'm going to get to those. And then we're going to, speaking of engagements as well. That's right, Crystal. Slick Willie got paid $500,000 from Russia to do a 10-minute engagement. $500,000, come on. Like, obviously, You don't speak that well to speak for 10 minutes to get paid $500,000. You doing a little bit more for the 500,000. You doing some winks and all that good stuff behind the scenes for that 500,000, and you probably getting a few of those all throughout the year from the same source and from other sources as well. But I'll move right along. Yeah, and it was a loan, AB. And it was a loan. It wasn't even a gift. He had to pay the money back. As far as $1 million he got from his dad, it was a loan. So it wasn't even no lottery. It was a loan. He had to pay it back. But that's my whole point. It's like you got to be able to, get the money and do something with it rather than just getting it and doing nothing. All right. So shout out to Apu Bakr, All Puff Daddy, who says, hey, ABL, do you believe that President Trump will get any votes from the citizens of inner city Philadelphia he needs Pennsylvania for the presidency? Absolutely. Last year in 2000, well, not last year, but last time in 2016, I was seeing pictures of guys in Philly with MAGA hats under a hoodie, like flashing their MAGA hat and winking to people in the polls. I was seeing that in 2016. So I think you most certainly see a lot more of that this time. I know some guys out there in Philly and they Trump supporters big time in the hood, West Philly, North Philly, all that. South Philly, they're definitely voting for Trump. Now, to what extent, I don't know. I can't predict that, but I think it'd be much higher than it was in 2016 because it just kind of makes sense. All right. We got to you on that. Thank you. All righty. Now, what else we got going on? Thank you to Abu Bakr Al Puff Daddy, who says, hey, ABL, Jalen Ramsey of the LA Rams is donating $1 million to Purpose Preparatory Academy in Nashville, Tennessee. His hometown. Thoughts? Hey, shout out to him. That's very good. Shout out to Jalen Ramsey. Big facts. I remember him. He was in the viral video. Like, he can't guard me. I remember him. Shout out to him. That's what I like to see. School choice, all that good stuff. I'm with it. Thank you to Leo Mazzina, who says, did I hear correctly? Is Hillary Clinton saying she's a Democrat elector in New York? I did not hear anything about that, but I wouldn't be surprised. If that was the truth, I won't be surprised at all. Thank you to Charles Turner Jr., who says, regarding younger black men, more of them, as well as young Hispanic men, will hopefully vote for Trump. Rush Limbaugh mentioned this a few weeks ago. They are tired of attacks on masculinity. Oh, yeah. That's a big thing with a lot of, young guys. They're tired of being told that they're trash just for being men. Just for being male, they're tired of being called trash. Okay, if somebody's gay, that's fine. I don't care. That's their business. But not everybody's gay. You don't have to be gay. You could be whatever you want. It's just America. If I want to be a male, a regular heterosexual male, then I have the right to do that. Don't down me for doing that. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. Shout out to all the youngins out there that think a little bit different. Thank you to Big Kahuna, who says, how do you feel about Lil Pump, Indian Crow Tribe, and Lou Farrakhan endorsing Trump? Also, Black Conservative Perspective would be awesome on you and Tatum's channel. Oh, okay. Well, we'll see what's going on with that as far as the last part, Black Conservative Perspective. But as far as Lil Pump, I'm with it. Now, I'm not a fan of Lil Pump's music, obviously. That's not really my demographic. But, hey, come one, come all. I don't know who Indian Crow Tribe are. I mean, is that a specific tribe of Indian, or is it like a group? I don't know anything about them. And Farrakhan, I don't think Farrakhan actually endorsed Trump, because I was seeing some negative stuff about Farrakhan before. But if he wants to, then it's fine. I say come one, come all. I don't agree with Farrakhan, a lot of what he says. But that's fine. Come on, come one, come all. All right. Shout out to Joe Ryder 84, who says, I honestly think AOC is just dumb. Barry Young says, I don't know what else that man could have done to have gotten himself shot. Thank you to Orlando, who says, it's been a while, Anthony. I'm glad to be back. Peace. Glad you're back, boss. Thank you to Matthew Phillips, who says, Walter Wallace Jr. has a husband and father, or was a husband and father. What? I mean, that's unfortunate, but, it is what it is. Thanks to Jason Johnson, who says, appreciate you, ABL. You keep it real. Word in Michigan. Hey, I think that everything will be fine, man. Don't worry about it. Just go out there, vote, and tell everybody that you know to go vote too. That's the main thing. Mike from Queens says, I got 250 in bets placed on Trump to win. Hey, that's a good bet to do, man. I might have to get in on it myself. Thank you to Mohel. the names, if I butcher your name, it's not my fault. You can blame the white man. Thank you to Moatil for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Bryce Clump, who says Hunter the math piper for government timeout prison. Retro Gamer 81 says someone should tell that guy with the washing machine that you don't launder money that way. Hilarious. Thank you for your donation. Let me see. Shout out to Tylex001 who says, why when the looting starts, Democrats make excuses? They treat them like kids who don't know better. If conservatives did this, they would treat them as adults and stomp big time. It's insulting, really. I agree 100%. Hold on. Here's a question. Not a clue fishing says, did you see where damning paperwork regarding Biden was sent by Fox News and the package was intercepted at some point and documents were taken and could not be found? Wow. Now, that's why this whole thing with the mail, you can't trust, because that can happen to it. And you got to have copies. When I heard Giuliani gave the hard drive to Delaware police, I'm like, you got to have more copies than the one you had in your hand, because you can't trust anybody when it comes to stuff like that, because you can have anybody, any kind of mole in the government to come in and take that stuff away. And what can you do when it's gone? It's gone. It'll be destroyed and it's over with. Let me see. Threat Level Midnight says someone with a knife can cover a distance of about 7 yards in about a second and a half. Exactly. So if you're within 10 feet of a person, I mean, you can just clear that with your hand almost and just lean forward, and the knife is in you. And it's over with. And at that point, you're being stabbed. So end the threat before you become a victim. Thank you to Pete Sangria, who says, shoot all looters and rioters in the story. Wow. Patrick Dozier says, thanks for the update. Does Walmart have guns? Hey, they have guns in some places. They got guns here where I live. But it's like little small rifles. It ain't really nothing big. But they do have guns here, as far as I know. Maybe they changed that, but I think they do, last I checked. Take it to Juan Diaz, who says, my only question is this. If they have all this evidence that Joe Biden and his son were doing things against the law, why aren't they in jail? That's a great question. That's what I want to know. If you know, let me know, because I don't know. Jason Johnson says, the left accuses Trump of every evil deed they are doing. Exactly. That's how it works. It's the deflection. Do as I say, never as I do. Take it to Pan Tifa, hilarious name, who says, Sir, no need to read this out loud. Okay. Let me see. I'm reading it, but I'm not reading it out loud. I know you're talking about, too. You're talking about a new conservative. Yeah, I know you're talking about. All right. Shout out to her. Thank you to J.A. Bristol, who says, I drafted the flat design for Blue Lives Matter. It's pinned to my Twitter page. Users names J_A_Bristol. Same profile pic. Includes a brief explanation for the layout. What's your opinion? I'll check it out when I get a chance. Thank you to Greatness 81, who says, what about Biden saying he has an extensive voter fraud organization in the video? I saw that. What was that all about? Hold on. If I could find it right quick, I'll put it up so you can see exactly what's going on. Hold on. Here it is. And this is from Eric Trump. And there's video, of course. And the caption from Eric says, Biden, quote, we have put together the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. So check it out.
Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Okay, so are you trying to say that you put together an organization to stomp out voter fraud or to commit voter fraud? I'm kind of lost what you're saying here, sir. You're not communicating very well. You're not communicating very well at all. So, yeah, I mean, all these gaffes at a certain point is like, this is just who he is. He's not a good communicator, and his mind is just not really there. Because if you were thinking clearly, you wouldn't say nothing like that. You would have been like, that might not have been the best thing to say at that particular moment. I might would have said something different. Or he could have just been honest, and he could have been saying what he actually meant. But I'll move right along. Thank you to Chelsea Biggers for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Agatha for the victory emoji. Jason Johnson says, yes, thank you. Thank you to Mixed Girl POV who says, keep it up with the emoji. I appreciate it. Thank you to Bryce Clump who says, I'm curious, George, and I'm running for president. Hilarious. Thank you to Bear Bay 01 who says, I would like to point out that Joe Biden's low campaign rally numbers are because they're scared of COVID. Get out and vote. It's going to be close. Jason Johnson says, the Democrats can run a ham sandwich with the same results. Hashtag TDS. Exactly. Thank you to Jay Johnston for the good job. Thumbs up emoji. Thank you to BSWI Heart 1 who says, I've witnessed dementia firsthand. What if Biden punched Putin thinking he was a childhood bully or the nuke button was a sandwich? Dangerous. Yes, very dangerous. Extremely. If by some stroke of random luck in an alternate dimension, alternate universe, he was to win, he would get immediately pulled from the White House. Immediately. He would never sit in the Oval Office and actually govern. Okay, that's just period. That's just what it is. Those that are around him would govern. He would not govern. Shout out to Jericho Green for the donation, who says a police shooting and riots go hand in hand. It's the new burgers and fries. Trump or the death of America, November the 3rd. Hey, listen to Jericho telling you the truth right there. And if you're not subscribed to Jericho Green yet, go ahead and subscribe to Jericho Green right now. But that was the truth, 1,000%. The police and riots, the police shootings and riots do go hand in hand. Somebody gets shot, it doesn't matter if it's justified, unjustified. It's going to be a riot. That's just pretty much how it goes. All right. Thank you to Mondaniac who says, because you have a great broadcast. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you to Bryce Clump who says, number one, stay or hashtag stay broke. Thank you to Matthew Phillips who says, compare Jack Dorsey today from a second round on Joe Rogan's podcast versus Tim Pool. It was like a year and a half ago and he's 40. Yeah, big difference. Huge difference. Thank you to Super Sober Guy 1 who says, love what you do, ABL, keep up the good work, the great work, and thank you for your tea. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Stacy Felice who says, Dorsey stole his look from Bo Bergdahl. Hilarious. And shout out to Bo Bergdahl. Actually, no. Same guy. Bo Bergdahl is a trader, right? Yeah, that guy right there can go ahead and go to, Gitmo, Big Rocks, Little Rocks. Let me see. Shout out to Orlando who says, Dorsey looks like either a long-lost Duck Dynasty family cast member or he got lost on his way to a Woodstock reunion. Hilarious. Justice Smith says, you have Harris Teeter or Aldi in your part of Tennessee. We have an Aldi right close to where I live, but no Harris Teeter. They got Harris Teeters back in Virginia, all over the place, but not here where I live in Tennessee. They got a few Aldis around here, but no Harris Teeter. Shout out to Burnt Scotch who says, MAGA. Hold on, back to where I was. Burnt Scotch says, MAGA back the Blue Cruise, Lowell, Arkansas, October 31st, 10 a.m. Guest speaker, National Anthem, Flower, Pledge of Allegiance, Facebook a shut page, Stay Awesome ABL. Yeah, Facebook shuts all those pages down. And it's crazy because they can't even really stop it because it's so many of these rallies that are just being independently organized, they can't stomp them out. And there's no real reason to shut the pages down. They don't have a reason. It's like, why are you shutting down a rally? For what? What's the reason? Let me see. Shout out to Activated Complex who says, the truth is out there. Thanks for your hard work to help ensure that it stays that way and to shine a light on it. Thank you for that. Let me see. Louis from Spain says, Madam, this washing machine isn't working. Do you have the buying ticket? No, I used the police shooting discount. Fantastic. Hilarious. Thank you for that. Carly says, make a shirt that says, I digress, please. I will. I had one, but I didn't like it. I'm going to do another one. Thank you to Ian Kenny, who says, the commie left is demanding that Spotify cancel Joe Rogan for having Alex Jones on his podcast yesterday. I mean, they're not going to be able. See, the funny part is that these people over at Spotify, the employees, the commie crazy lefties, they think that they matter, but they don't matter. These people are just, they're insignificant. Just like what Yuri Bezmenov said. And shout out to Yuri Bezmenov, RIP to the great Yuri Bezmenov. He was saying that these people that claim to be so, elevated and above, and they'll be the first ones lined up and shot. They'll be the first ones discarded, and they're going to be angry because they thought that they would be the gatekeepers. They'd be the ones that are making the rules and the decisions. No, you're just here because I need you to fulfill a purpose, but you don't really matter at the end of the day. Joe Rogan is the equivalent to a Spotify executive. And how are you going to cancel the executive? How about don't work for Spotify. If you don't like Joe Rogan, Spotify has just become Joe Rogan's staff on a low, but I digress. Let me see. Big Kahuna says, how about, I read that one. Thank you to John D, who says, ABL, just watch the numbers. Trump's rally got 100,000 live viewers. Biden gets 7,000 total per day. Exactly. And you know what? That's something else I wanted to say. People said that, oh, well, the rallies the Trump rallies are big and a lot of people are there because he doesn't care about the virus. He, it's not even really important to him. Well, okay, if that's the case, then why are the internet numbers so much different? Okay, if it's all about staying home, stopping the spread, all this, that, and the third, then why does nobody even watch the Biden rallies from home? And no, you could be you could be by yourself. You could have a mask on in your house. You can have your whole house zip tied with plastic bags. Nobody could get in or out. You could be a complete just shut in, doing whatever you want to do. Nobody around you, but you don't want to watch that. You rather watch not Celebrity Apprentice. You rather watch Dancing with the Stars or something else. Cat videos. You don't want to watch Joe Biden on the TVs, on the YouTubes, because who cares? Who wants to see that? Our music is better. The rallies are better. The candidate is better. The enthusiasm, the people, everybody is just better on this side. All right. Thank you to Ufda, who says, great show, Trump 2020. Thank you. I appreciate you. Shout out to Kerry Jordan for your donation. I thank you. Thank you to Kyung Lee for becoming an ABO superstar. Thank you to Joe Rider 84, who says, do you think that Trump will have a higher vote turnout than 2016? Oh, yeah. Because the enthusiasm is so big right now, it's crazy. There's going to be a much higher voter turnout. Thank you to Kevin Jenkins for becoming a member of the ABL squad. And I think that a lot of us that vote for Trump are going to vote in person because we understand that the Postal Service can't really be trusted. Not necessarily because they're just bad inherently. It's just because they can't really handle that kind of volume, first of all. There may be some bad actors that destroy your ballot because you're conservative and it says it on the back what it is. That might be going on, but we also just understand that it's more important to vote in person. A lot of us had voted early, but we voted in person early, not in mail. Thank you to John Quinn, who says, ABO, you're the best. I'm gay and my partner and I voted for Trump today. We don't do what the pink triangle rainbow mafia tells gay people to do. MAGA. Hey, thank you for your vote, man. Definitely appreciate you. That's what I appreciate. People that are just regular people. If you gay, who cares? That's your business. I'm not even really worried about it. If you got the same voting pattern as me, you be on the same page with that, then hey, it's all good. Let's get it. Let's make it happen. You see, but you got the LGBTQ, ABCDEFG, X, Y, and Z making y'all look bad. I'm not trying to see a 6'8" person wearing every color in the rainbow on their face with devil horns, reading the book to kids, and then at the same time flashing the kids. That's just perverse and ridiculous, regardless of whether they are straight or gay. You understand what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Thank you to John D, who says, Biden draws more pumpkins than supporters at his rallies. Hilarious. Shout out to Mason Davies and Al Soul. Al Soul says, do you believe systematic racism exists as a result of failed democratic policies? No, not really. Because it got to be on the books. Like, okay, if you're this race, you could not do this. I think an example of that could be affirmative action as far as systemic racism. But I don't know about anything else that exists as far as systemic racism that's on the books saying this particular race will get X, Y, and Z over this particular race. So I don't, that's what I look at as far as systemic racism. Abortion could be considered that, but again, it's not a thing that's just for one race on the books. It affects black folks and Hispanics the most, but it's not on the books as only being for us, like affirmative action can be, if that makes any sense. Shout out to Bearbait01, who says, ABL, we all know why no one watches Biden rallies. It's because they aren't voting for Biden. They're voting against Trump. Vote in person November 3rd. Exactly. They don't like Biden. They hate Biden, or they're not really enthused about Biden. They just don't like Trump. That's pretty much what it is. All right. Thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best. Audience, let's get to the phone calls right now. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number is always in the description box below and right there on the ticker. It'll flash across the screen eventually, or at least it should. If it's not, then blame the white man. It's not my fault. All right. There's also an email for Skype in the description box below the video. You can add me on that. You can be right here on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen if Skype wants to work as far as the video on screen is concerned. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Let me just fix my microphone over here, make sure everything's straight, and we'll go ahead and get rocking. All right, test. Are we good? All right, 203 on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hello?
Yes, 203. Who am I speaking to?
Oh my gosh, this is actually the first time I've called and I got in. What?
Well, lucky you. You got in.
Wow. Okay. Hi, I've been watching you for maybe like a year. I'm a senior in college and I actually happen to go to UPenn. So luckily, I'm not in Philly, but like I'm home because they made us stay home. And oh my gosh, okay. So my university is really liberal. Like I'm talking like Black Lives Matter in class. Like I'm talking about race in Frankenstein. I didn't even know like that related to Frankenstein. Like it's just so tiring. Like we literally got an email from like our college like dean, and he was like, this whole like death, what's his name, George Wallace, he was like, you guys must be feeling so sad. And I'm like, well, not really, but I mean, I digress, as you say. But so I happen to be a Black female. I don't know if that counts at all. But, like, my parents, like, grew up Democrat, and so did I, because I was like, okay, whatever. My parents were Democrat. I'm Democrat. And they're, like, kind of expected me to be it. But, like, I've watched you, and I kind of just, like, when I tell you, like, in 2016, I hated Trump. Like, I did not like him. And my family didn't either. But then, like, after watching you and, like, Brandon Tatum and, like, Candace Owens, I was like, you know what? Like, he's not that bad. He's actually really smart. And I've been trying to, like, convince my parents to be like, you know what, Trump's not that bad. And they're just like, no. And I was like, well, what do you feel about Biden saying, like, oh, if you don't vote for him, you're not Black? And my mom was like, of course not. Of course you're not Black if you don't vote for him. I'm like, Mom, like, you can't say that. Like, that's not right. But so it's been pretty hard for me to, like, convince them. But I feel like they kind of know that I'm going to vote for Trump, but yeah, I'm definitely going to go vote in person. But I don't know. I love your videos, and it's so cool to talk to you. I'm so nervous. Like my voice is shaking. So.
No, it's all right. You're doing very good. You did a good job being able to speak very clear and concise, straight to the point. Now, as far as your college, where is it located? Is it in Philly?
Yeah, Philly. Yeah, the University of Pennsylvania, which is Trump's alma mater. But yeah, it's in Philly. Now,
is that like in the hood? Because I know how colleges are. They're like sometimes in the hood, kind of a dangerous area. So is it in the hood area in Philly?
It's located between like 36 all the way up until 42nd. If you go past like 43rd at night, like I wouldn't suggest it. It's pretty scary. They don't suggest us to go past like 52nd. Like that's the hood. Like don't go there. But like since it's an open campus, like there's so many homeless people, like, walking around like asking you for money. People get jumped like in the middle of campus. So it's pretty bad. There's been a lot of like they've actually implemented like a lot of Penn police lately in the past year, which is really interesting. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. So, I just say stay strong, stay doing what you're doing. You know what's right, you know what's wrong. Trying to convince your parents, that's going to be kind of an uphill battle because they're going to pretty much be how they are. It's like teaching the old dog new tricks. You ain't going to be able to do that too much. But they might surprise you. Your mom might come and say, you know what, I think what Joe Biden said was wrong about you can't vote for Trump if you Black. She might surprise you. You never know. But, don't get discouraged by trying to convince them because it's kind of an uphill battle and you might not be successful. But as long as you're doing the right thing and you're going the right way, don't even worry about it. And you're able to understand what's happening, being right there at school when you go back, you can see how the hood is and how the Democrat policies don't work. So you know what's going on. You're on the right path.
Yeah. honestly, it really doesn't work. Like, it's gotten worse over the past, like, since I was a freshman and I'm a senior now, it's gotten so much worse. So, yeah, I hope it changes.
Hopefully so.
Well, oh my gosh, I don't want to take up your time. Well, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, hopefully next time I can talk to you again. Okay.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, of course. All right, I'll keep watching. Okay, bye.
Very good call. You know, I feel good when you get the black female conservatives to call in because, you know, you guys are like, you know, it's like finding a diamond. So, and it's encouraging because we need to get everybody, all hands on deck, everybody to just go the opposite direction and be conservative. And I don't have to have everybody in the whole world become conservative, but at least let's get 50-50. Like I said in the earlier video, if we can get 50-50 in the black community voting for a Democrat, Republican, I'd be happy. I'd be totally satisfied. I'd be happy as a pig laying in a bucket of mud. So that would be my ultimate goal in life, to get it to that point. So shout out to everybody that is seeing the light and coming to the other direction. 406 on the line, who am I speaking to? All right, 406 hung up. I don't know what happened. Let's go. Oh, what's going on with my phone? I don't know what's happening. Okay. I'll call you on now. I'm speaking to 907. 907, hello. Okay, all right. Everybody's hanging up on me. I don't know what's going on. Listen, to anybody that's watching, when you calling in, be prepared to answer the phone. Have the phone like right here next to your face. And when I say your area code, who am I speaking to, be ready to answer. You know, it's like double dutch. No, it's hard to get into the line. I know, I understand. But when it's your turn to jump in, you got to jump in. All right, so let's get to the next call here. Hold on one second. 815 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, ABL. It's not a boy here. I just want to say that, of course, again, I thank you so much, you and your wife, Mia. And, you know, I hope Tatum was able to get to the rally today that Trump had out in Arizona.
Yeah, hopefully so. Yeah, because, you know, these rallies are so good to go to. Hopefully he was able to go to it.
Yeah, you know, the leftists, I already saw all the news talking about Nebraska because of the cold, and all the folks, you know, like a few people were stranded or whatever and getting sick, yada, yada, yada. You know, they always got to make some type of issue about whatever, just trying to support our wonderful president.
Yeah, it's always some kind of problem, always some kind of issue, but that's just what the media does. It's like, all right, cut it out. I mean, I think people are starting to realize that now, and they're paying the media less and less attention.
Absolutely. And I want you to know, I mean, you're absolutely right, but I want you to know I have 9 new converts that were libertarian or Democrats that are now joining in on your show, as well as stood in the line and voted for our president.
Wow. Okay, now, how did you do that? How did you get them to see the light, so to speak?
You know what? So I'm originally from Chicago area, and then I moved to Illinois. I moved to Colorado. We raised the kids out there for about 10 years, and now we're in Georgia. And so it's a lot of communicating on the phone and stuff. It's like, look, hey, you need to watch this ABL show, or you need to watch this Tatum show, or you need to watch Owen respond to whatever, you know, especially when she responded in regards to economics. So that seriously was the turning point for them. And I told them about, look, listen, Biden is a liar. Don't forget why he dropped out of the race back in the 80s. Don't forget about that. Why? Plagiarism. Don't forget about his lies in regards to the sit-ins and Mandela, etc. Don't forget that. And they watch more of your videos. They watch more Tatum videos. And then they did watch a couple of Shapiro videos. They changed their minds.
Wow, that's amazing. That's fantastic.
Yes. Yes. And I just had to come back in and let you know, you and Miss Mia, and I am doing a lot better, guys. You know, I called in on Saturday, and I was dealing with the whole COVID thing. I had 104.1 temperature, but I'm good to go. I got it down. I'm at the regular temperature and fighting through this. So it's just a different type of flu, so to speak. But I can't tell you how much we all appreciate what you do and your sacrifice of what you do. And I know it's just from the love in your heart. So I just want to thank you, as well as the Michigan guy, Jones, I think is his last name, James, maybe, that is running for the Senate.
John
what
James.
An amazing speech. John James, what an amazing speech. Oh my gosh. I was floored. I almost went to tears, you know, but what an amazing speech. And I just thank you so much, ABL. I really do.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. I know you got more calls. All right. Thank you, dog.
I know. Yeah, shout out to the caller. I'm glad she's doing better with the virus. Remember her, she called in and said that I think the family had the virus. So I'm glad she's doing better and was able to recover like most of us do. You know, I think that the virus at this point is a new flu. Okay, the flu pretty much just plummeted. You didn't hear too much about it. It was all virus. So we know what's going on nowadays. The flu is a new virus. Or the virus is a new flu, pardon me. So just treat it as such, in my humble opinion. But let's move on to the next call. 916 on the line, who am I speaking to?
Oh, my goodness. This is Giovanni from Phoenix, Arizona. I can't believe it. I cannot believe I finally got through the line.
Well, I'm glad you got through, man. What's on your mind?
Oh, man. First of all, I've been watching you guys, you and Officer Tatum and Jericho Green for quite some time now. And, man, you guys are just amazing at what you do. One of the things that I noticed when your callers call in, and they always say, like the female that was on just a second ago, she was referring to, her family and how it's, trying to convert them into, supporting the president. I had a similar story, but a while back, months ago, you had said, one of the things you got to do is just stick to the facts and never back down. So I'll tell you a quick story because I know you got other callers waiting. My mother had called me not too long ago, and she had said the conversation went exactly like this. Hey, Mother, how you doing? She said, that depends on the answer to my question. Okay. All right. And she said, right. She said, who are you voting for? I said, oh, Trump, without hesitation. She said, okay, why are you voting for this, for the president? And I said, because, and I listed a whole bunch of different facts about prison reform, just a list of things that, make sense, at least in my eyes. So she said, okay, let me call you back. Right. So then she puts my grandmother on the phone. She's pushing 90 and she's very spry, a lifetime Democrat. And so she said, listen, baby, why are you voting for Trump?
Oh, wow. So they got grandma on the phone ganged up on you?
Oh no, it gets worse. They got my aunt. She said, okay, hold on, Gio. Hold on. She clicked on and had my aunt come on and then another aunt come on. So I basically had four my, two aunts, my grandmother and my mother on the phone trying to so-called convince me, quote unquote, convince me to, vote for Joe Biden. And, the question I posed to them, I said, because every time, you talk about the president or, the election, you always talk about how bad the president, he's a liar, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, take me as a person who came from, I came from Africa. I just got my citizenship, and the election is coming. Convince me to vote for, the person that you want me to vote for without talking about President Trump. And of course it was, the president is just, bad. I was like, okay, that's not going to convince me. And I said, this is what I would have said. I said, well, if, I understand that, you just became a citizen, but hey, look, Joe Biden is a great president, great when he was in office with Obama, of course they helped put kids in cages. Yeah, of course they didn't really help with prison reform, with the 94 crime bill and things of that nature. Yes, he's a lot of issues with his son and those emails and whatnot, but look, he's a good guy. He's a great guy. You should vote for him. I said, it's one of those things that I just, in a nutshell, I said, listen, I am not going to vote for this other individual, and here's why. And, of course, I listed the things that everybody has either obviously known. But, first of all, I know I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just am honored and appreciate you actually answering the phone and getting a chance to speak to you. I watch your videos and your commentary and your webpage every day. And I just appreciate everything that you do for the community.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Of course. Hopefully, real quick, when you guys did a Zoom call with Officer Tatum and Jericho Green, I think you guys had mentioned that you were coming to Phoenix possibly to do a little hangout and something like that. I don't know. I was just hoping if you guys let us know, I'd come and hang with you guys.
Definitely. If we do that, you definitely know about it. It won't be a surprise. We'll definitely put it out there and market it. So if we do that, you'll definitely be aware.
Awesome, cool. Thank you very much, ABL, and congratulations on your new marriage. Hopefully, you got a little baby on the way.
Thank you for that. But I can't announce that until it's time to announce it, and we don't got that coming up. So yeah, that ain't gonna be. Thank you for your donation. Thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Of course. Have a good evening.
All right, now.
All right, bye.
Yeah, no baby on the way, because if I was to announce that, if it was happening, which is not, and my mom saw this, oh boy, I would get. Now that's when you would get the announcement. That's when you would get everybody on the phone. I would have my whole family on the phone. How dare you put it on the live stream and don't tell me first? Oh boy. But no, that's not coming up yet. If that was to be happening, that'd be some kind of like announcement that people would know about my family first. All right. Yeah, almost got me hemmed up right there. Okay, let's get to the next one here. 281, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, wow. This is Jamie.
All righty. What's going on?
Wow, I can't believe you answered my call. Well, I just kind of wanted to speak about, well, first of all, I'm a Black female living in Texas, and I guess I've kind of recently gotten into the conservative mindset, and I guess I just wanted to speak on that for a little bit. So, I guess a little history. So when it comes to voting in elections, we had President Obama. I voted for him both times. 2016 with Trump and Hillary, I bowed out because I really, of course, I was falling in line with the narrative, Trump is racist. And even now, I can't really speak to that. I don't know the man personally. And I just felt like Hillary was just super crooked, so I couldn't go down that route. And I was kind of shamed from my family. So come around this election, I kind of went in with, okay, I'm going to vote for Biden. It's just kind of, there was nothing I liked about him. It was just kind of like that familial pressure. So, but as time went on and he kept making certain comments, I think my snap into reality is when he said, if you don't vote you're not Black if you don't know whether you're going to vote for him or for Trump. And at the time, I was like, okay, dude, like, how is that not racist? How's that not a racist comment? And I just felt like everybody around me was giving it a pass. And I'm like, how are y'all giving this man a pass? But y'all are telling me everything about Trump is just the most racist stuff. So I'm like, if we're going to even go off of that pretense, let's say, okay, they're both racist. Let's go off of that, because in my mind, Joe Biden is for sure racist based off of what he said and things he continues to say. So if we're going to go off of that, why? Okay, fine. Let's say Trump is racist. Let's just say that. Now, if you're saying all things are equal, now let's look at what each party has done. Let's throw out racism or race out the window, and now let's look at policy. And I, for the life of me, cannot understand or see, knowing these things, how someone can vote for Biden. And this is aimed mainly towards the Black community. I have to be honest with you. So after I realized I wasn't voting for Biden, I was going to vote third party. So I was going to vote Jorgensen. And one day I woke up and I was having an internal crisis with myself, because I was like, I know I can't vote for Biden. I can vote for Joe Jorgensen, but I guess, or I could vote for Trump. And, I actually have reasons I can say why I could vote for Trump. If, a lot, we say we're voting for the lesser of two evils. But I guess my argument now is, how is it the lesser of two evils if for decades we've been voting for the Democratic Party? And what have we seen? I've seen no progress. And I would argue that, it's coming to the point where I hear more about race and people reminding me of race and how I'm so, oh, you're in trouble. This person's going to come and get you. It's like I'm hearing that mainly from liberals. And this is a lot for me to say coming from a year ago. I kind of don't, me a year ago wouldn't recognize me today, because I was totally, sipping the juice that everybody else is sipping right now. And it's kind of like I've come into this realization that, the mainstream media has been lying. I can take any criticism Trump or towards Biden, anything, just let it be, fair. Let's have fair coverage and let me have let me make my own decision. I think it's kind of sad how everything is so biased at this point, where to find anything positive that Trump has done for the Black community, I feel like you have to dig. And I was actually looking up.
Call you cut out.
And even, I was saying I was actually looking for some resources today to kind of give someone the facts on the different bills that he's done, what he's done for HBCUs and things of the sort. And depending on where I looked at that resource, it's like they didn't really want to give him the credit. They didn't want to really give him credit for it. Like, he did this, but it's not as good as he claims it to be. Oh, he did this, but and it's all from liberal sources. And it's like, to get the truth, I have to go to conservative sources. And it's just crazy. And now that I've come into this realization that, I'm more conservative than I realized I was, I feel like I'm a closeted conservative, because I can't tell my family. I can't tell anybody I'm around. I have to avoid the conversation. And if I just kind of play devil's advocate, just to kind of probe to see where the mindset is at, it's automatic turning into like an emotional response. It's never like, I present facts and tell where I'm at. And it was just really honestly a frustrating experience, I would say, like being in the Black community and wanting to kind of speak on why maybe you're supporting Trump. It's automatically, oh, you're a coon, you're at this, you're at that. And like, to be honest, and position I'm in and the things I'm doing, like, I really don't want that kind of heat on me. And it's like, I'm going to make my vote in private. And I just honestly feel like I'm seeing this a lot. And I really think Black voters are going to show up for Trump this election.
And you know what? There's a lot of us out there that are just like you. You know, people that's kind of like on the low, kind of like being conservative in the closet, don't really want to tell their family and friends. But you know what? The good thing is when you come out as conservative, you may lose some people, but it's fine because you're going to gain more. You know, because I had to come out as conservative. I say like, I was really out there in 2015, but I had kind of been like that since like 2012. So I was conservative, but I didn't really say it vocally. But 2015, when I started making videos, it was like, okay, I'm out here now, and it was some battles. You know, me and my dad almost got into a fist fight, but it's fine because after that whole thing happened, me and my dad get together better than ever. I call and talk to him about anything. It's level of respect there. We don't see eye to eye on the political thing, but after that whole thing, he gained a lot of respect for me for standing up for myself and just being me. And the same thing with everybody else. You know, some friends, fair weather friends ain't really friends anyway if they leave you because of a political difference. But I've gained much more in my life and many more friends by coming out as conservative. So, it's not even, I don't really try to convince anybody. I don't try to, evangelize or preach to them. But if they want to have a conversation and they come to me in a civil way, we could talk all day long. I'm not trying to argue you to death. I'm not trying to beat you down with facts. We can have a conversation if you're ready. And I think that once you come out as conservative, you'll be able to gain new friends, better friends than those that want to leave you because of your conservatism, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's
You cut out.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Oh, okay. I was like, it's crazy because you hear all day long, yeah, these liberals, they're so open and we accept everybody. And it's like, no, you don't, like, at all. A bit, like, why it's crazy that I have to feel, like, closeted to tell my opinion. And it's not like a hateful opinion. It's just my opinion, And we could go there and have a discussion and we could differ in opinion and continue with our lives and still be friends. But it just seems like that's just not the case, It's really crazy to me. It's sad, actually.
That's right. Absolutely.
Very sad. And one last thing, you did a video, I think it was over, I think his name Kushner, about
Kushner,
the comments
yes.
he made.
Yeah.
Yeah, the comments he made. Man, I agree with you, and I agree with what he said. Maybe people didn't like the messenger. It's so crazy. I was talking to a relative of mine, and I told them to check it out and see what they thought. And they were like, oh, no, who's this guy to say this, that? And I'm like, you say the same thing when we're just having conversations. Now that it's attributed to someone in the White House, now it's a bad thing. I just don't quite understand. I don't understand the you're ignoring facts and you're letting your emotions cloud your judgment because the TV has told you that Trump and anybody associated with Trump is such a monster. I'm not saying they're angels on earth. I'm not saying that. I don't think anybody is. But I don't know how someone can excuse all the things that Biden has done and then make Trump out to be just this monster, especially with what he's done for the Black community. And I have to say that because it's true. And something that I feel like a lot of people don't point out, he had no incentive to do those things because we didn't vote for him.
Yeah, I mean, it was no real point. It's like if Trump won with 8% of the Black vote in 2016, he could just not really reached out to the Black community and still win. He's doing this because he actually wants to. And he's been like that for a long time. I'm gonna say this last thing, and I got some more calls on the line, but sure. Judge Joe Brown said back in the late 80s and early 90s, if you are a Black businessman in New York City, you would go to Trump to get money if you couldn't get funded by a bank or anybody else. You would go to Trump and he'd look out for you. And what he would do is he'd bring you in the room, his Trump Tower, whatever, have a conversation. Okay, what are you trying to do with yourself? What's your business or whatever? Get a business plan. Okay, here's X amount of money for a loan and pay it back when you get everything up and running. Just write me a check, pay it in full. No interest or nothing like that. Just go ahead and pay it in full when you come back. And everything's up and running. So they go out, do their business, and they come back with a check in their hand. And they give it to Trump. Trump would take it, give it back to him. Matter of fact, he would take it, tear it up into pieces, give it back to him, shake their hand and say, hey, enjoy your business. Congratulations.
Wow.
That's Trump.
Exactly.
That's Trump. So that same guy, I mean, he's the same guy now. He didn't have to do that. There was no reason to give somebody some money for free, but he did it because he wants to. So that's him.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I appreciate that. Hey, keep doing what you're doing. You're reaching out to people. You know, I stumbled on your videos a while back, and I'm not gonna lie, I was initially getting kind of offended, and it wasn't until I came into my realization of what was going on that I doubled back and I'm subscribed and I'm watching all your videos now. So keep doing what you're doing. You're reaching people.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
All right, yeah, great call. Excellent call. I may snip that one, making it into a video by itself. But that's right on point. I mean, like I said, Trump, he never was seen as a racist. He funded Jesse Jackson twice when he ran for president, and he funded the Rainbow Push Coalition up there, and I think that was in New York. Nobody ever said he was a racist up until 2015, ever. Then it was, Central Park 5 and a lawsuit from the 1970s. All that came out when he ran for president because he's a Republican. He's a conservative. But before that, he was just Trump, the guy that will hook you up, look out, be in the videos, be in New York City. That's what it was. So I'm glad that we're starting to wake up and see the reality for what it is. But let me get to the next call. 512, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, my God. Hey, Anthony. I finally connected to you. Hey, I've been trying to reach you for a while. I used to work for the DNC, and I've been a lifelong Democrat. So I have to just get this out there. There's some really, really bad and really, really, really dark stuff that goes on over there. Like, I used to work pretty close with Tulsi, and then Hillary Clinton just took over the whole thing and was trying to help, like, Bernie back at the time, but I think this party is just hopeless. It's gone, you know?
Okay, so you gotta give me some details about like what's happened. Like what did you see that kind of like just raised your antenna and it's like, okay, this is crazy. What's going on here? Give me some examples if you could.
Some of the example is there's a lot of stuff in IT going. They had some very close tie to Pakistan. There was this guy named Imwan a while ago, and he has his hand in like several different campaign groups and staffing, and he had the PIN numbers of all their mobile devices, and there was some really, really scary stuff going on there. Like if you cross this guy, he would say, I can send you to Pakistan right now and we'll take you out. I think he has some dark tie. I don't have any verification of that, but that's what he implies over there. And I worked pretty close with Seth Rich a while back there. Everyone knew that was not a robbery. This is the whole thing with when Hillary emails got hacked, and it really wasn't hacked. It really was an inside job over there at the time. So yeah, at the time I was doing that, and I immediately stopped working at the DNC. It was just too much right there. I helped push Obama up there. Part of his email campaign, his tech group, and then try to do some good at the DNC thing, and then did a lot of work in the Texas battleground, turned Texas purple for a while. But I just had enough, working in political thing. It just got too messy. There were a lot of IT connections going on. There are a lot of under the table deals. You hear politicians getting rich here and there. There's something tied to it. I mean, this corruption stuff is going on. It has to stop. I've been taking the red pill for a little while now, doing more research. I've been sucked into this propaganda, the Democrats are the good guy, they're for immigrants, and, we owe them our votes for a long time.
Right. Absolutely. Now, as far as what you were talking about earlier, Imran Awan, is that who you're referring to? Yeah. Okay. Now, what's going on with this guy? Because I heard about him. I remember him being mentioned a while back. Wasn't that Debbie Wasserman Schultz, IT guy? Wasn't he linked to her? Yep.
I don't even know this guy even works. He got his family, he hired family, and you see this problem going on all the time. I work a little bit at Google as well too. When you got some Chinese people or Indian people that come in, they only hire their family members. And then eventually they only hire like Indian people, or they only hire Chinese people. Like, it's crazy, like how the rest of America is losing out on all of this. Like, we're being taken over. Half of America makes less than under 50K, and I know it's rough out there, and I can see people hurting everywhere,
Now, when they hire their family members, are we talking about visas or like citizens?
Half. Sometimes like they're already family members that are already over in the U.S. already, but they do bring like, they sponsor visa to bring people over as well too.
Okay, so like when they're hiring their family members, they're sometimes, like you said, they're here in the U.S., or other times they're taking advantage of U.S. immigration policy and bringing them over through the visa program to work. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, and they say it's a lottery. At the time when Democrats were in charge, it wasn't a lottery. Like, if you have enough ties to certain people, you can easily get people to come over here.
Okay, I see. Very, very interesting. Now, as far as Seth Rich, now I think, like you said, I think we all know that wasn't really a robbery. It didn't make any sense. What do you think was going on, and why do you think that way?
You remember the laptop? Like, Debbie got that back quickly from the police department. Like, his laptop was, same thing happening with the FBI right now. Like, we have laptops going out everywhere, and the FBI is not doing anything.
Right.
That's how scary this world has become.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing that right now with the whole thing with Hunter Biden. I mean, they had a laptop in December 2019 at the latest. May have had it earlier than that. And the craziest part is that China are leaking some stuff from the laptop to us. Why is that happening? If we had a laptop over here in the States, how did they get it? How did it transfer from over here, like in Delaware, to somewhere, Hong Kong, Beijing, Shanghai, somewhere? Like, how did that happen?
Like, how did the laptop get here from China?
Like, China,
Is that what you're saying?
yeah, China's releasing some stuff from Hunter Biden's laptop to us. So, I mean,
That's actually Taiwan.
Okay.
That's the expatriate guy, the billionaire. Giuliani sent it to him, and Taiwan is the free area. That's where he's like broadcasting from.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
So I have close ties to people in China. I got family in China, and I know people in government, and I've done business with them before my, working for DNC a long time ago. Like, they are horrible. They will steal your design. They will stab you in the back, and they'll be nice to you. Like I've done a lot of like factory work, and they make it cheaper, and they have slave labor to compete with you. It's like the real enemy is China. I remember back in the 1990s, like China barely had a big economy. They barely had like factories, and advanced electronics. Like what's going on now is like American companies can't compete with China. They will destroy every single American company because all their companies are backed by the government. Like they just have unlimited funding from them, and they will use slave labor, and they will devalue their money. And I don't know. I have kind of like an insight into like how, the people in the political world think. Like, I hate saying that they're evil. I try to understand from their perspective, but the CCP government is truly corrupt. They subjugate the people. Like a lot of my family members, like they want to rebel, but they just don't have guns over there. They can't do anything. They're scared for their lives. Like, they'll put you in re-education camp, and they'll take your organs out. Like, I know a lot of people who disappeared, and they're doing that to Hong Kong. Like right now, people are just disappearing in Hong Kong. I got family members in Hong Kong too.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, people talk about Russia all the time. That's kind of a smokescreen to me because the actual issue is China, and it's pretty obvious. It's clear. I mean, if anybody just has their eyes open, they can see what's going on with China, not Russia or Ukraine or something like that. That's the real problem. So I agree with you 100%.
And it's scary how Democrats defend China. It scares me. Like, I see it happening, like the censorship, and the tracking. Like they have infiltrated the NBA, the Football League, Hollywood, universities, and the Democratic Party. Look at Feinstein. She had like a spy working in her campaign for a while. And I knew about that too, Like, I know, like, I've been trying to, like, whistleblow it. I've been, like, working with Project Veritas, getting, information in and that kind of stuff. But the media just shuts down. It's only people like you, Anthony. You're, like, one of the YouTubers. You guys are the last people left, that are trying to like get the information out there.
Right, exactly. I mean, because if we don't do it, it's like who is? The media, they don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. They want to avoid it because they have the political things they got going on. But us, we're not really tied to that. We could just put it out there because it's the reality, and it needs to get heard by the American people, by everybody, really, all over the world. It needs to get heard.
I'm working on it. I'm building a no censorship project coming out soon. I'm trying to reach out to Tatum, pretty soon, and I'll get some people on it, like a decentralized, no censorship project, and just put what you want to say on there and let people judge. No algorithm, none of that BS.
It sounds good to me, man. Well, I thank you for calling, man. Thank you for telling me a lot of what you know, and I got your back, man. If you need anything from me, man, I got my email on my website. I don't know if you want to do email, paper trail, or whatever, but I thank you for calling, man. I really appreciate you.
Stand strong. Love what you're doing. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, yeah. Shout out to the caller. Great call. Hey, you guys bringing the heat tonight. Now, of course, I gotta say that could be anybody, right? Because I saw you guys in the chat. You were like, it's kind of sketchy. I have no idea of being able to verify that right now. I'm just taking the call, but he sounds pretty genuine to me. That's all I can really say. He sounds genuine. Is that the 100% truth? I have no way of knowing that. I couldn't take it to the bank and cash it. But, I mean, it makes sense. I think we all know that China is a problem. It's not Russia or nothing like that. This whole Red Scare is bogus. China is the actual issue. And we know about the camps. We see the camps on camera. The Uyghurs and whatnot. We see them on camera. Okay, people in America, a lot of the politicians don't want to talk about it. We'll say, what's going on with these camps over here we saw on the footage? We got actual camera footage, drones in the sky looking at the camps, people getting crammed into them, the Muslims and whatnot being put on the camp over in that particular province in far western China. Oh, no, we can't talk about that. We don't want to. All right. We see what's going on, though. So at a certain point, you cannot keep the truth from us any longer. And as far as them stealing designs, that's very widely known. It's documentaries about that, about the intellectual property theft. That goes on from the biggest of things like the iPhone all the way down to like hair supplies and beauty supply stores, to like dollar store stuff. That's widely known. If you send your product to China to get manufactured, they might just clone that and copy it and sell it to the same people you're trying to sell it to. And then you just pretty much done. What you going to do? File a complaint. You're going to call the police talking about copyright infringement. Good luck with that over in China, trying to get that lawsuit off the ground. But let's get to the next call. And thank you guys for being here. I definitely appreciate you guys. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoy what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the callers, if you enjoy my content, please hit the like button. And also, if you are a first-time viewer or you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe right now. I'd most certainly appreciate that. And when you subscribe, click that bell so you get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. 575, you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
This is Jeff Messis. I'm in Clayton, New Mexico. How are you?
Everything's pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. ABL is crazy, dude. I can't believe I'm listening or talking to you right now. It's nuts.
Well, I'm glad you got through, man. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. This is the first time I've called and got through. That's awesome. We listen to you out here in Clayton, New Mexico. Largely Democratic state. I don't know if you know about New Mexico, but we're shut down. Our governor is she's different. She has us on lockdown, and it's wild out here, man.
You still shut down? It's almost November. You still shut down?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We she just did an order 5 to a gathering. Can't do it for Thanksgiving. It's wild, man. Like you can't do anything out here. You have to wear a mask everywhere you go. Now it's mandatory. They out here where I live, they just sent out a thing saying that the police are going to enforce it. It's going to be a citation the first time. The next time, I can't remember. And the third time, you get reported to the Department of Health.
Wow. So they're going to are they going to try to track you, see where you go by the Department of Health?
Oh, yeah. I think they're going to try to do when you go into a restaurant, you got to sign your name, everybody that's with you. You got to tell them everything when you walk into the restaurant just to eat.
Wow. That's crazy. And you know what? out here, I'm out here in Tennessee. There is a mask mandate in my county, but nobody enforces it. As a matter of fact, the police chief got on camera on TV and said he's not going to enforce the mask mandate. So, and people halfway wear them, halfway don't, but there's no spike out here. It's not like people are getting sick, and it's just not even like that. It's just pretty much normal. It's like that all over the state. And places are like that all over. Florida's like that. It's not, we got to get back to normal. This whole shutdown thing, they can do that forever because even if there's a vaccine, it's not going to be 100% effective, nowhere near it. So at a certain point, it got to stop.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. We just got this message from the chief of police here where I live, so they're going to start enforcing it here, which they hadn't been, but now they're going to. So it's wild. I wanted to talk to you about the Bobulinski thing. That needs to be pushed. He needs to talk more. He needs to get out there and say his thing so that everybody knows what's really going on.
Oh yeah, definitely, big time. Because he can go on Fox, and that's good. He's able to get it out there on Fox. We're able to get it out as YouTubers, but he needs to be everywhere from the mountaintop, just shouting this story because this is important. You're talking about the guy that's trying to become the president for the Democratic Party, the guy that was a vice president, and some widespread corruption all over the world. That's definitely got to be a thing that is shouted from the mountaintops, so everybody knows what's going on.
Exactly, and he has the information to show you that he's not the one sending the message, or he's not blind copied like he said. It's directly to him. They're talking directly to him. And it's proof, and it's all, they have the proof. Like, where's the FBI and all that?
Right. Exactly. That's my question because, as far as I know, the laptop was given to the FBI, or they took it as late as December 2019. So why is it that we've not heard anything about it at all? Were they investigating it? What's really happening? I feel like we know about it now because Rudy Giuliani, blew the whistle and we all have it. So if the FBI had it and they weren't doing anything, then the question is why?
And, if you think about it, COVID came out. They gave him the laptop in 19. COVID came out in 19, at the end of 19, at the beginning of 2020 here in the United States. And then Biden, all of a sudden, now he's there, but he's locked in the basement. He's not coming out saying anything to anybody. He's put away because of COVID. And, he's just the shell for these other people that want to get into office. And that's obviously his VP. She said over and over again the Harris-Biden ticket.
She did. Yes, she did. And I think even Joe Biden today said, I'm Kamala Harris's running mate. And it's like, okay, is that are you trying to joke or what? And he also said the Harris-Biden ticket. I think anybody that's paying attention can see that he's not going to be able to actually govern if he were to be elected by some miracle. So it'd be her or someone else. And really, it wouldn't even be her. She might be the one out there in the front, but it'd be their handlers that govern rather than them themselves.
Oh yeah, it's got to be somebody else pulling all the strings. And you look at the Speaker of the House and all of them that are in that kind of stuff, and you can see it clear. It's clear as day.
That's right. Absolutely.
Thank you, ABL. That's all I want to say, man. Thank you so much. Like I said, my mom turned me on to you probably about 5 months ago. I'd never seen anything you've done. And I've probably watched every video you've ever put out because, man, I love it, dude. It's awesome. Thank you so much for what you do for everybody. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
You have a good night, man.
All right. Great call. Great call. And shout out to Mom for turning your son on to my channel. I appreciate you. All righty. Let's get to some more here. 712, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Bill. This is Al.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Good. I should call you Anthony. I remember last time you talked. Hey, number one, there's a lady that said she didn't quite believe in angels. I do believe in angels. I believe an angel protected me when I was in the war of Iraq. With that being said, I just want to touch bases a little bit about the Omaha rally. I was there.
Okay. So was that rally where they're talking about people got stranded and stuff like that? Hello, are you there?
A little bit, yes.
Okay.
You there?
I hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I would say it was all. Hey, you were like, there's 29,000 plus there. So, and they had.
You're breaking in and out. All right, you're still on the line, but your connection is just not really there.
Okay.
All right, I hear you now. So you said it was
Okay.
29,000 out there. That's the last I heard.
Yep, there was a little bit over 29,000, and I'd start walking.
Oh man, I wish that the connection was strong. Okay, the connection is kind of messing up. I'm not sure what's going on. Make you move to a better place where you get a better location, a better connection, because I can't hear you at all.
50, you there?
I hear you now. Let's try it.
I don't know if it's my connection. Probably is my connection. That's weird. You there?
I hear you. So go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I looked at the crowd. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of crowd there. You know, there are like 50 people to a bus, and there's like maybe 10, 15 buses there. And I'm thinking, going through my head, like, all right, this is going to be a long wait. So you've got to be a little, patient there. So by the time I got out, and you had to walk like almost 0.3 of a mile up to where the road was at, and of course all the crowd's right there, and I'm like, there was a bunch of us that said, you know what, we're going to walk back. We walked back. It took us 3 miles to walk back. Okay, that's an hour walk, basically. So that's how I got back. I was like, you know what, I'm not going to fight with the crowd. I'm going to, you make of what you make of yourself. No pain, no gain. If you had walking shoes on, there was a lot of us that actually just walked all the way back to the parking lot. And so I can't say what was all going on back behind there. But basically, I walked back. I got back to my vehicle around 11 o'clock. So basically got in my vehicle. I just, why be in a rush? We got traffic. Just kind of take your time a little bit. Got in my vehicle, and I was home. I'm up here in Iowa, in Sioux City area, clear up here, which is about a 2-hour drive from Omaha. And I got at home here about 1:30 in the morning. People got to realize when you go to these events, it's like a sporting event. It's like a football event. Or, we got 80,000 people in a football field. Or I've never been to a pro basketball game or a baseball game. So you do have a large crowd, and you've got a vehicle out. You got your vehicles out in the parking lot. I mean, you can walk out to your parking lot, but you're going to be there for a few hours. I mean, come on, it's only common sense, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, okay, if you're going to this big rally, like you said, when you get there, you got to be able to examine what's happening around you. Okay, you have thousands of people. It's a handful of buses. The parking lot is kind of far away. How are you going to get there? You got to have all that kind of planned out in your mind. And if you're going to be out there in this cold, you have to adjust for the occasion. And it's a whole lot of standing around. I've been at Trump rallies before. And when I went to the rally out here in Tennessee, we were there the entire day just to get in. Like, we got there at about 9 or 10 a.m., and the event did not start until like 6 p.m. So we were there all day. And then you're inside waiting. You got to get to your destination, and then you have to be able to go back to where you were. Now, luckily, the parking lot was like right there, so it wasn't too far. But still, you have to be prepared for a long time being there.
Exactly. So I had a great time. I got to meet a lot of different people there, different nationalities. I was asking questions. This Mexican couple I ran across, and I said, "Hey, have you ever voted Republican, or why are you here exactly?" There was good feedback. There was no hate. They were like, "Well, we didn't vote for him last time, but we're voting for him this time." It was fun. So sure, you're going to have a little hiccups, but you got to roll with the punches, man. That's how life is. It's not exactly everything going to be handy ice cream and candy. You deal with it, and just like Trump said, and even like with the his platinum plan he's got coming out, he wants to come out with. It's up to the individual to take that plan and try to get what he or she can get out of it, and basically take your personal responsibility and go from there. That's how you achieve stuff. You don't achieve stuff by just sitting there and just waiting for a bus to come and pick you up. You've got to take the initiative. You've got to decide for yourself. Am I going to wait? Then be patient. If I'm not going to wait, guess what? I got 2 legs. I can walk. So, that's how I took it. That's how I've always taken life, and I believe that's how you take life. To what I see you do, you've become a great intellect that I believe in the future that you're going to go ways, Anthony. So, anyhow, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you're awful quiet. I was hoping I didn't lose you.
Well,
but anyhow, God bless you, Anthony. I mean, everything that you do. I know you've got other callers, but I just kind of want to tell you what I experienced there. So unless you got questions.
I thank you for the call because, I heard about that story, but I knew that there was more to it. And when you put it, it makes perfect sense. And then I recall my own Trump rally experience. I know how it is. That story, of course, is blown out of proportion because the media wants to attack Trump at every turn to help their failing candidate. So I thank you for that. And thank you for the call as always, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Like I said, if you had 10 buses, that's 500 people. How many trips from 30,000 people? And let's just make it simple. 1,000.
Right.
You get 1,000 people on that trip.
I got you.
How many trips is it going to take?
Yeah, you got to be able to kind of see that before you go into the situation. But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
You bet. You got to be reasonable.
All right, now take care.
You bet.
All right. Yeah, perfect call. So if you didn't catch the first part of what he was saying, because he had a little bit of problem with the phone, he was out there at the rally. What was that in Nebraska where they were talking about people got stranded in the cold. People had problems with the cold. They had hypothermia. They froze to death, all this, that, and the third. Nobody died. But anyway, the problem was people just didn't really anticipate their exit route properly. When you get there, you see a lack of buses. It's only like a handful of buses, and you got thousands of people at this rally. So how are you going to be able to get from point A to point B? How is that going to happen? You got to be able to have a plan of action already set once you get there, and you have to know that you're going to be there for a long time. I've been to a Trump rally before, and you're there the entire day. Like I said, you get there first thing in the morning, and you're not leaving until like 6. Well, you're not leaving. We got there first thing in the morning, and when we left, it was well into the night. It was like 9, 8, 9, 10. We were there the entire day. But it's fine because you know what it is. It's like going to a pro sporting event, but a little bit longer than that because you got a lot of people and security clearance and everything else. That's just how it is. And on top of that, Trump rallies are not ticketed. It's first come, first serve. So when the whole thing happened with the TikTok people, the TikTok, they shut down their Tulsa rally. No, they didn't because it's first come, first serve. You can have a ticket, but it doesn't mean that you're going to gain entry. The ticket is just for data collection to see who's coming and where they're coming from and the email address to send you stuff, promotional stuff. It's not to actually reserve your seat at a rally. I've been to several Trump events, some that are invite onlys where you cannot get in if you don't have an invite. And I've been to the ones that are first come, first serve. And the invite only, you don't see the big lines like that. Everybody that comes there has to get vetted and all that kind of good stuff. You go in and boom. But at an open rally, anybody can come. You just get searched before you were able to enter. That's just pretty much how it goes. But let me get to the next call. 70. I had the call loaded up, but it didn't load up. So let's go. I'm gonna try to get them on the line. They've been trying for a while, and I thank you all for joining. You guys are the best anywhere on planet Earth. If you're not like the video yet, go ahead and do that for me. Like the video, comment, do all that good stuff. Okay. 909 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL.
Well, hello. What's going on?
I just want to say I'm a 15-year-old man, and I love your channel.
Well, thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, I know I'm kind of young, but this year with the election and stuff, I've started getting into politics, and I've loved learning about the founding of our country, and it just shocks me, all the stuff that the liberals have to say.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, ain't it? When you start to hear what they're talking about, it's like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's just kind of weird. It's strange. So I'm glad you're awake and you're able to understand what's going on with the political world at a young age, man. When I was your age, I didn't know anything about politics, man. I was just trying to play basketball and chase these little girls. I ain't know nothing about politics, man. So you are way ahead of me. So you're definitely on the right path.
Yeah, and I've been really like looking into the election, and one thing that, like, you know, the polls are so skewed because I was watching one thing in one video, and they say that they don't get the shy Trump voter because a lot of us out here, we don't like to give our opinion because we're just going to get, you know, picked on and stuff. We're going to get attacked. So,
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, even with the posters, you don't want to, like, you might be around family members or friends when they call you. So you can't say, oh, I'm going to vote for Trump. You might want to say, oh, I'm undecided, or I'm independent, or I might want to vote for Biden. People just lie. It was the same thing going on in 2016. The same exact thing. People may not have been around. You might have been pretty young at that particular point. You might have been like, what, 10 or 11? So now it's the same. Like, what I'm seeing right now is kind of a carbon copy of last time. The only difference is that you don't have a person coughing all over themselves and falling on the ground at random times, which is what Hillary Clinton did back in 2016. But the poll situation is almost the equivalent. And I think that Trump will do better this time than he did last time.
yeah.
All right. So you there, boss?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's crazy because I was watching another thing, and I think it was Dennis Prager, and he's saying it's all the nice people, you know, they're like your friend, or your neighbor. They're just like really nice people, but they just got the wrong mindset. They're voting liberal, and we got to find a way to change it.
Well, I think the best way is just to get the information out there. You know, just people need to talk more, because I can talk, I can do what I can do on my platform, but we need more people like me just to, you know, if not on YouTube, just out there in the world, out there in the streets, just talking to people, talking to friends, family, whoever you can. Now, not everybody's going to be receptive, and that's fine. That's okay. It's just like being in sales. You can just go out there, talk to people, and ask, hey, do you want to buy these Girl Scout cookies? And they might say, no, I don't want them. Get out of my face. That's okay. But if some people buy them and they eat them, then mission accomplished. You might get some no's, but some yeses. We need to be more like that out in the street, just talking to people. And I think that'd be a good way to spread the message.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for the election. If we had a red wave, it would just show the liberals that we're serious, you know?
Definitely. No doubt about it, man. And so I'm definitely waiting to see what the results are going to be. I think we'll be pleasantly surprised and satisfied with the results. So I look forward to it, man. All right. So I thank you for the call, boss. I thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Keep doing what you're doing, man.
All right, man. Take care. All right. Shout out to the young callers. I appreciate you guys for calling in. 925, you're online. Who am I speaking to? 925, hello.
Yes. Deal?
Yeah, I'm right here, boss. Turn your speakers down in the background for me, please.
Oh. Yeah. Sorry about that, man. What's going on? Yeah, coming through. Crazy. But, yeah, how you doing, man?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain about yourself.
Cool. Yeah, no, I just want to say thanks, man, to you and, like, B. Tatum, Candace Owens. Definitely opened my eyes. Like, I'd say 4 or 5 months ago, I was SJW over here tripping and stuff. And, yeah, it's crazy because I saw Candace Owens' video that she did on George Floyd. And, you know, emotional, and it's like, why is she saying these things? She ain't one of us. She's a sellout. Uncle Tom, this, that, and the other. And I was feeling the same way. And I was like, the reason I was upset was mainly because I couldn't disprove what she was saying. And I was like, okay. So I'm finding myself making excuses. And I'm like, why am I making excuses? Like, what if what she's saying, there's some truth behind it? And I never considered that before. So I dug a little deeper. I found you. I found Brandon Tatum as well. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. I've been lied to for I don't know how many years. Like, so I started looking back and just thinking about, you know, what I've been told and Democrat policies and all those things. Nothing's benefited any of the black community. And it's crazy just looking at it. Like, it's all just been pretty much a big lie. So it's definitely great to be kind of, awake now for the most part. Still definitely learning some new stuff. It's been, I think, a couple months since I've been really like studying politics and stuff like that. So definitely good to be awake now.
Oh man, that's excellent. That's definitely a good thing, man. And that's kind of how it happens sometimes. You might see one thing, and it's like, wait a minute, I can't really disprove it. And now
Exactly.
you want to find more. It's like you go down the rabbit hole. You find that first thing, and once you go down the rabbit hole, you find the red pill. And now you can't turn back because you done already seen the information. You done already seen the truth. So to go back the opposite direction, it won't even be the same. It's just like me when I kind of had my red pill moment back in the day.
Yeah.
And I started listening to a lot of conservative stuff. This is like 2011, 2012 when I started doing this. And I tried to go back and watch MSNBC. It was like gibberish. I couldn't even watch it. But before, I was watching it normally. But now that I have had this information, this knowledge, I can't go backwards. So you're definitely on the right track.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like, trust me, I was heavy watching CNN every damn day, drinking the Kool-Aid and stuff. And what really, like, pretty much turned me was when Joe Biden said, "Oh, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black." And I was like, wait, people are excusing this.
Yeah.
They're talking about, oh, he didn't mean it. Yeah, he didn't mean it. He was just a gas. I'm like, bro, he just said if we don't vote for him, we'll be black no more. Like, what?
That's a really big one. I've heard that a lot tonight. I've heard that a lot. And I've
crazy.
also
couldn't believe it.
I hear you, man. I'm right there with you. And I heard that not only a lot tonight, but also I've seen it from different people. Like, so some celebrities have been talking about that. Like this, like people on the left are trying to excuse that. Like it's not really a big deal, but it is because it's like, all right, if you want me to vote for you, don't just say, "Oh, you black." That's enough. That's like an insult, disrespectful, and it's a cop out. You got to be able to come with some actual policies that you could put on the books. Just like anybody else. Don't come with this whole racist thing. But you know what? I think that I want to blame not only Joe Biden for saying it, but also those that are around him. The black folks that are around him probably they talk like that. People like Cedric Richmond, the leader of the Congressional Black Caucus, who called Ice Cube a liar. People like him, you got to blame as well as Joe Biden.
Right, for sure. And I don't want to take too much time, but I have a couple more things to say. Like, thing is, like, if you look at most black families, and I'm personally, I'm Nigerian myself, so my family's Nigerian. If we make a list of and what we hold dear and what we hold close and what we live by, it does not align with the left. It doesn't. It doesn't. And to tell us, oh, you have to vote Democrat, it doesn't even make sense. Like, and we still doing it. I don't see how it makes sense, but it's crazy that we're still doing that and, still voting that way, but to no benefit of our community, It's crazy.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah, for sure. But definitely, I appreciate everything you're doing, man. Appreciate, Brandon Tatum as well. You guys are doing great work, man. And yeah, definitely great to be awake. This is going to be a very, very consequential election for sure. Next 4 years are going to be crazy depending on what happens. But another thing is, like, Joe Biden, the only thing he's done is that 94 crime bill, 50 years in office, ain't done a damn thing. And also Kamala, I feel like she's a spawn of Satan. Everything she put the black community through, all these people she put to jail, concealing evidence, blocking evidence, stuff like that. These people weren't even at the helm of power. They were in office, but they weren't at the top of the tree. They get to the top of the tree, it's not looking good for black folk. That's what I'm saying.
That's right. Absolutely.
It's crazy. Yeah, man. But I appreciate everything you do, man. Thank you.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man.
Great call. Hey, you guys are great with the calls tonight. That's why, I'm enjoying the show because you guys are really just hitting these home runs, man. I couldn't do it without y'all. So I appreciate y'all for being here. Let's get to the next one. 707, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? Oh, my fault. That Skype's crashed. That's, I tried to do something different and it crashed. Hey, I can't blame the white man for that one. That's my fault. Okay. You guys keep on calling in. The number to call 434-658-1220. And matter of fact, I might have to restart Skype. Yeah, Skype is terrible. Okay. Thank y'all for joining. Please hit the like button on the video. We're not done yet. We got quite a few more calls to go. I'll wrap up at about 11 p.m. Eastern time. So we got another half hour of calls. And you guys have been great tonight. But I guess I got to restart Skype because it wants to act up and do whatever it wants to do. All right, so let's try this. There we go. All right, I call you online. I'm speaking to 910.
Hi, Anthony. This is Laura from North Carolina. How are you?
I'm well. About yourself?
I'm great. I can't believe I got in. I've been listening to you since March when all the shutdowns started, and I just want to tell you you've kept me sane through all this because, like I said, I'm in North Carolina, and it's been pretty rough.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I'm glad I've been able to help you out a little bit, get through all this madness that's going on.
Oh, big time, big time. I've been trying to build up the courage to call you, so I know you're busy, but I want to go through a few things I wanted to tell you. So I'm an artist, and I really connect with your message of being Black and, people just pigeonholing you and thinking, okay, assuming that you're going to be a liberal because you're Black. And it's the same way with me as an artist. And I'm also a teacher. I'm an art teacher. And so, artists and teachers are generally thought of as, as liberals. And when people find out I'm a big, huge Trump supporter, they're just shocked. And it's like, well, please don't assume things about me just because, you think you know me, but you really don't. I just really connect with that and having a mind of your own. And so I thank you for what you've done and throughout all this time.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate you guys for supporting because I couldn't do it without you guys. I'm glad that you're watching and you're being able to get something from it. I appreciate y'all.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I did get to go to the Trump rally. I'm in Fayetteville, North Carolina, so I did get to go to the Trump rally a few weeks ago, and it was absolutely amazing. So many people there. I was with my friend, and we got kind of mask shamed. We took a picture, and, I was actually in the televised part of it, so I had to wear a mask. I'm the one holding the Women for Trump sign. But we took a picture like when we first got there, and then my friend put it on Facebook, and then we got mask shamed for it. And it's just so silly,
So you had a mask on, but you got mask shamed?
We got mask shamed because we were standing in line on, like, when we got there, you're standing around forever. And we got mask shamed for taking a picture, together there. So it was just silly. But
Yeah.
I did want to say, too, like, about the shutdowns. I can't stand as a teacher. I just want to go on the record saying I can't stand how some of these teachers and teachers unions are saying they're afraid to go back to work because I have been wanting to go back to work since day one. I thought it was an overreaction to get out at all. And it's our duty. When you sign up to be a teacher, you sign up to teach those kids. It's like, if you're too scared to go back to work, please get out of the way and let somebody who wants to work do it, because I can't stand that. Like, I love teaching. I don't know what I would do if I didn't teach. I love interacting with the children, and I'm not afraid of this virus, and I just want to go on the record saying that there's a lot of teachers out there who feel that way. It's just that we're not loud like the teachers unions are and like the liberal teachers are, saying they're so afraid of the virus and staging these crazy things where they like pose in body bags and do all these weird things. It's like most teachers don't feel that way. I don't think they just want to do their job.
Right. Yeah. I think most teachers are just, regular people. They're not out there crazy. And most people aren't these crazy extremists that you see, acting up on YouTube. So I think that you're right on point with that.
Yeah. And that's what's kept me saying with your channel is like, if you watch even conservative news, like I just watch Newsmax, but even with that, it's depressing because just the Democrats are just up to such shenanigans. It's just scary. But then you always just point out, okay, most people are just doing their thing. So we just have to keep doing our thing. And we also have to be not afraid to be, to be ourselves. Like at the very beginning of this thing, I was so scared to say I was a Trump supporter, but now my front porch, I have a big old flag. I have a sign. My mailbox flag is Trump. I have a bumper sticker. Like, I don't care anymore. I think us conservatives need to stand up and just be proud. We don't have anything to apologize for. We're not the ones burning the cities down.
Exactly. We're doing the right thing. You go to a Trump event or any kind of conservative type event, and it's all good. You don't have all these issues, all these crazy problems going on. That's the crazy leftist extremists. It's not us. So it's no point in apologizing. We're doing the right thing. They aren't. So you're right on point.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you so much. Oh, one more thing. If you and Brandon Tatum could get Chandler Crump on your Thursday live stream, that would be awesome. I have so much more hope for our younger generation than the millennials. I was born in '81, so I'm at the tail end of being a millennial, and I don't claim my generation because I think we're kind of lost in many ways. But I think this younger generation has seen what happens when Democrats are in power, and they don't want socialism. They don't want it, and they're smarter than we are, than this generation is. So. Yeah, Chandler Crump.
Well, that's a great suggestion. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right, great call, excellent call. Yeah, shout out to Chandler, the young gunner. I think Chandler's 15 or 16 now. So shout out to him. Been really involved for a while, a long time now, out there traveling, doing whatever he's doing. And I asked him, I was like, hey man, how you going to school? Like, how you doing all this? He's like, man, I just do it, man. I just get it done. So shout out to Chandler, man. If you're watching. You're doing great with your channel too, sir. All right, let me get to the next caller here. Let's go. 484, you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hold on, I gotta answer this call real quick. Hey, how you doing, ABL?
Everything's good, man. What's going on?
Good. And another thing I wanted to say to you real quick, ABL, that about what that lady said. Yeah, that's what most of them see. I work at my job. Most of my coworkers, they're completely paranoid about this virus, and mind you, half of them aren't at risk of getting sick at all. So I'm just like, listen, y'all are overreacting to something that's not going to affect y'all at all, and y'all don't know nothing about the situation. And they keep saying, well, viruses affects the kids and all that stuff. I mean, to a certain extent, I guess. Would you agree?
You said it does or it does not affect kids. Can you hear me?
Hold on, you said it doesn't?
I asked if you said that it does or does not affect kids.
Oh, wait, sorry, I had to change my volume. You said it doesn't affect kids?
I was asking you which one you said.
I said they're saying it does affect children. That's why they need to keep them out of school.
Oh, no, it actually doesn't. The kids are the least likely to get impacted by the virus out of anybody. The kids pretty much, it's like, they might get a little sniffle and it's pretty much over with if they get anything at all. They're usually asymptomatic. The people that it hurts the most are elderly people. That's the overwhelming majority of those that die from the virus. Or if you're a young person, if you got diabetes, like if you're 16 years old and you weigh 800 pounds, then yeah, you might actually die of the virus. But I think your bigger problem was the fact that you're 800 pounds and 16 years old. So, it kind of just heightens underlying issues that somebody already has. If you're just a regular person and you don't have any kind of crazy health conditions like most people, especially at a young age, you'll be totally fine.
Yeah, that is true. And just to let you know that this whole race stuff, it doesn't mean that has nothing to do with people being crazy and all that stuff. I talked to a black woman earlier, and she just was not trying. Everything I said about Joe Biden, I told her I do all my research. She was just defending him to the core. She hated Trump. So like the core, so I was like, I didn't say nothing else. And then when I brought, and she said she actually condones children having sex changes. I said, okay, no, that's enough.
I mean, like at that point, it's like, what can you do? That's why I tell people all the time, it's like, if somebody's just being irrational, it's kind of hard to tell a grown person or to convince a grown person to go the other way. It's difficult to do that. I mean, somebody was successful in doing it earlier by showing some videos on myself and many others, but sometimes people aren't really open. If they have an open mind a little bit, you might be able to get them to go the other way, but it's not an easy thing to do. And they're talking about you can give a kid, like a 12-year-old, 8-year-old, a sex change, chop the stuff off and turn it into something else, then that's just ridiculous. I mean, it makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
If you want to be an adult and do something like that, then that's fine. You could be Bruce Jenner all you want to, but don't let no 8-year-old little boy do something like that. That's absurd.
Exactly. It's extremely absurd. And about what's happened out in Philadelphia, Yep, no kind of protest whatsoever. It was just, it just turned into straight riots, and it just basically tearing up the entire city over something that just, it's getting tiring, and people are, it's getting to the point, and I heard there was incidents where the police weren't around at all. Like, when the looters were out, there was no cops around at all, and there's a town outside of Philadelphia, outside of West Philly. They were going to hit there, and the business owners was like, listen, if we get hit one more time, we're leaving, and that we're not coming back. So they had the National Guard come out there and sit out there with a tank in front of that entire strip right outside West Philly, and they said they haven't gotten touched. They haven't even come nowhere out there.
Yeah, that's crazy. You got to bring tanks out on the streets, but what else are you going to do? It's like, okay, bring the tank out to guard it, or just let it go up in flames. And the crazy part is that the tank is actually helping those in the community, even those that are out there looting, who happen to live there, if they live there, which they probably don't, because if those businesses leave and they don't come back, that's just going to further impoverish a probably already poor community. For what? For a momentary ability to go out there and steal some stuff is short-sighted, and it's retarded.
It extremely is. It's getting old. I tell people when they say they have insurance, I tell people, like, listen, that's not how insurance works. You don't understand how economics works. That's how I could tell they don't really understand how money really works, because insurance, they have to investigate it, make sure the owner wasn't involved, and there's like thousands of cases and millions of cases of businesses. And half the time, insurance will look for a reason not to pay. So now it's like it could be a lose-lose situation or a win-lose situation for the owners.
That's right, absolutely.
And then it could take years for them to even get that money, because there's so much going on out here. You even get a lawsuit, it's like they might as well just pack up and just leave.
And a lot of these guys that are out there with businesses, they don't have a lot of money like that. They're not swimming in cash where they could just have their business go up in flames and even be able to pay their bills at home. People don't understand that, so they could just burn stuff down. Or they got insurance. Meanwhile, the person that had the business, they're pretty much out of a job, and they might be check the check or in debt. People don't understand that. They don't care. They're just self-serving and ignorant to facts of basic law and finance and all that good stuff. So I thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Oh, no problem. Have a good one.
Same to you. All right. Great call. Let's get to some more calls here. And thank you all for being here on the call. You guys are the best. Let's get to a few more. All righty. 619, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello. Hi.
Yes. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. I just wanted to do a quick question. The other day, my buddy's very liberal, like my best friend, and he sent me a message trying to persuade me about Biden, and the only thing he watches is CNN. And when he sent me the message, it was the one about he oversaw the Bin Laden raid. See what he says about Trump, and it's when Admiral William McRaven has comments about it, but it begins with trying to, like, the beginning of the video is like trying to say why he's conservative, but also has all these different liberal values, and then pretty much just talks about being for Biden, and like doesn't even get to the point towards near the middle or end of the video where he talks about Trump retweeting a message by, they're saying QAnon or some far right conservatives or whatever, and I don't believe I don't take any of that as fact at all or anything, because I trying to research this or look for anything about this. The only things that pop up are every liberal far left kind of like posts about it, and I've been kind of looking around on all my conservative channels trying to see if anybody talked about this at all, and I was kind of wondering what your thoughts were about it.
So what was the main thing? Like, the guy that came out said that he was a conservative but had liberal points of view. Was that the main thing about it?
Well, the main thing about it was he's the Admiral McRaven. He was in charge or oversaw SEAL Team 6, and he was also in charge of the Captain Phillips hostage event. So he starts off by talking about that. And then what they kind of did the spin on was saying that Trump believes in the conspiracy theory by this, I believe it's like the DHHJ or something, another conservative news source, where they're talking about a supposed like CIA whistleblower who was talking to a Gold Star parent whose Navy SEAL son died in the Benghazi event. So what they're talking about was saying that there's something about saying that the helicopter that went down with the SEAL team on it was a planned event by the Obamas, and that
yeah, I remember that. So basically,
thing.
it was like Trump retweeted a so-called conspiracy theory, and they're trying to get him on that. But I mean, that's just kind of a nothing burgers. It's kind of a non-story, really. But that's what the media on the left does. They focus on non-stories, they amplify them, and then they just put it out there as red meat to their particular base. But it ain't really nothing. I mean, if you have any liberal media, they'll pounce on it because they want to just use that. They use anything, but it's not really that big of a deal in my humble opinion.
No, it isn't. It isn't to me either. As someone who served, and I've been in Afghanistan. I was with 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines. A ton of different things happen over there that I remember when I was over there that CNN wasn't on our side at all. But now in this video, they're kind of acting like they're on the side of the military, saying he doesn't even believe this happened. But he's done more for Gold Star families than Obama did, because I know from Gold Star families getting when they're getting a letter from him, it's just a printed letter with a signature on the bottom. It's not personal. It's just I don't know. I think that the media is doing everything they can to tear America apart, so that it doesn't matter to them, because they want, the only thing they care about is the election. They don't really care about what the people do to each other. They want to make it about identity rather than us being Americans.
That's right. Right on point, man. I thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Same to you. Great call. Let's get to a few more here. 510, you know who am I speaking to?
Mr. Logan, this is Johnny Michael Robertson. Can you hear me?
I heard you well. What's going on?
Well, first off, I'd like to say thank you for everything you do. I watch you every time you put out a video, and I appreciate it. I just got a question on how you feel about Trump's stand on VA care with his, veterans choose and whatnot. It's hard for me to explain because I'm a multiple combat veteran from Iraq and Afghanistan, Somalia, whatnot. I just I see a different side of it because I seek health care outside the VA, and I'm not receiving what I'm told I'm supposed to be receiving.
So you're saying that as far as outside of VA healthcare, you don't get what you need to get?
Correct. So, for instance, I'm 100% disabled, medically retired, so I get free dental and whatnot. And if dental cannot provide the services, they send me to a civilian. And when I go to a civilian, I get a bill in the mail, and they tell me, well, VA won't take care of this.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Well,
I mean, I'm a Trump supporter. I voted for him last election. I'm going to vote for him this election, of course. But I want to know your thoughts on how he's dealing with the VA, because I've been dealing with the presidents, past and present, and it seems like it's flip-flopping from left hand to right, like it's a hot potato.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know a lot about this subject, to be totally honest with you. But as far as the VA, any kind of reforms need to be done. First of all, if there's an option to go civilian for certain things, if the VA can't do it or you can get it expedited at civilian, that should just be a seamless process. Now, I don't know the way to go about reforming that. I would assume that it'd be different depending upon where you live, because I know some guys that say where they live, the VA system is great. It's excellent. They can go civilian, they can go VA, and whatever they need, they have. And some guys say where they live is terrible. So I don't know if it's a state to state issue as far as how the VA operates. I know that it should be a federal thing as far as the VA, but I hear different stories from different guys. Some say where they live is great. Some say it's not. Even in the same state, they say one is better than the other. So I'm not really sure what's the best way to streamline them all to be the same, but that's what needs to happen. And as far as going to civilian, that should be a seamless process. It shouldn't be this thing about, oh, they're not going to pay for it. I think they can just reform that straight from the top without having to, reform each individual hospital to perform better.
Yes, sir, and I completely agree with that. Unfortunately, I'm in California, so I'm going to have to agree with you on the state-to-state deal.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense because I hear about California. I hear some horror stories just in general about the government out there. So that could be what's happening, but again, this is not my area of expertise, so I don't really know. But I think it needs to be streamlined all the way around, regardless of where you are.
Agreed, sir. Again, thank you for what you're doing, and you have a good night.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. Shout out to all the vets. I appreciate you guys for what you do. We couldn't be here without you, so shout out to all the vets. And we got to get that the VA streamlined and tightened up for sure, and that's a fact. All right, let's get to a few more. At 614 on the line, who am I speaking to?
Yo, is this ABL?
Yes, it is.
Yo, it's crazy. I'm actually from Australia, but like my line is a bit delayed because like right now, like what do you call it? I think I'm in the middle of your call right now, which is like midway or something.
Yeah, don't watch the stream. Just talk to me on the phone.
Yeah, that's okay. I just had like a question regarding like I guess I'm from Australia and it's like pretty liberal here. So it's like, how would I like go around the best way to kind of just present facts online without like, having to be like, I guess coming out, I guess is a better way to say it.
I'm not sure what you mean. So you're trying to say, how do you just be conservative without some kind of like big coming out celebration? I'm not sure what your question is.
Yeah, like kind of like just I guess coming out and being, like as in not being afraid of what other people like, are going to say, especially being with most of my friends being kind of like liberal and stuff. It's kind of hard to kind of come out and present the facts, but it's like I'm worried about being shut down, censoring and all that. So it's really hard to kind of, come out.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, I got you. So here's my advice to you. Just stick to the facts and things that you can prove, like undeniable. You can prove it because I go down the rabbit hole. I talk about the virus and hydroxychloroquine. That might be kind of hard. That might be a little bit too much for people. So just basic mundane stories that are conservative. If you want to put those out there, to put them out there. And you don't have to be real preachy about it. You could just put it out there in a matter-of-fact kind of way, just kind of in a cool, calm, and collected kind of way. Now, some people, like you said, you got liberal friends, they may not like it, and that's okay. That's fine. I got people that don't agree with me politically that, are friends of mine and family, but we get along still because they respect me and we're true friends. We're not going to let the political thing get between us. So you may have some fair weather friends that come in and say, I don't like this and now I hate you. But that person, you got to ask yourself, what kind of friend was that if they do that to you? Because if they're willing to just abandon a friendship over a disagreement on politics, then what happens when the guns come out or somebody comes in with a knife and they try to cut you and your friend? Are they going to be there to protect you? Are they really going to be there? Are they true friends? Like I got friends right now. I could call up and say, hey, I need you to do something crazy and don't tell nobody how you got it done. Just go ahead and do it. And they'll do it because they're my friend. So do you really have friends like that, or are they fair weather? If they're fair weather, you shouldn't really mourn their loss. Actually, you probably end up gaining more people by just being yourself rather than trying to be what you think they may want you to be. Just be yourself and you'll be fine.
Yeah. I've just been like conservative, but it's just like now I've been trying to like delve into the facts and after the whole like BLM madness with Floyd and there's like understood the facts and what's like happened with that, and I've realized like people are being kind of like brainwashed into this kind of ideology without even reading the facts or kind of like analyzing the situation like step by step. And if I was to explain that to someone, I don't think I think they're kind of, how do I say,
I mean,
one-sided.
if
Democrat.
people if they don't want to see facts, it's going to be hard to convince them to see facts because it can be out there, but they may not want to. They may want to see what the lies are because they believe in the lie. They believed in what the story was before the story even came out because it's just where their mind is.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could present a thing to somebody and just put it out there like a seed. Just put the seed out there and see if it grows. See what happens. If people are going to be combative and they're not trying to hear, then it's going to be kind of an uphill battle you fighting.
Yeah, true. But I think that's all I really had to kind of ask. I've just been a watcher of you since since Officer Tatum, I guess, introduced you to me kind of like through your life stuff. That's how I kind of got to know you, and I'm really grateful. Like, God bless like you and Officer Tatum for what you guys do to kind of like speak the truth, especially like how everyone kind of puts down Trump when he's really not like that, and he's actually like doing a lot, I guess, for America and like other countries. But it's just the media can just be absolutely a train wreck sometimes.
Yeah, it can be. So I'm glad that you guys are tuning in to see what's happening for real. So thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much, ABL.
All right, great call from the land down under out there in Australia. Let's get to a few more here. All right, let's go. 907, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi. Yes, my name is Brooke, and I'm surprised I actually got on the line. I'm kind of freaking out.
Oh, it's all good. I'm glad you're on the line. What's going on?
So I live in Bethel, Alaska, and I've been red pilled thanks to you and Candace and Tatum and them.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you for coming to the right side.
You're welcome.
So what's on your mind?
I'm calling and wanted to get your opinion in regards to the Hunter Biden scandal thing that's going on. Yeah,
it's crazy, ain't it?
Yes, it is. I can't believe the censorship that's going on.
Oh, well, I kind of I'm not even really surprised because this is what they do on the left. And they did a similar thing in 2016. And it's not just with Hunter Biden. It's about people that are conservative in general. Facebook is notorious for this. They have my page on Facebook is pretty much in shambles. And, a lot of friends of mine had the same issue with Facebook. Big pages, small pages, millions of followers, 500 followers don't really matter. Anything conservative or some kind of way right-leaning gets shut down because that's going to help Trump, and they don't want that. You got guys with Trump events that are getting shut down because they don't want that. Anything Biden-related, anything anti-Trump, they let it go on. They let Antifa pages up on Facebook for years and years and years, but no problem. Prominent Antifa pages that promote, run ads, all that stuff is okay. So we see where their bias is. They can go on Capitol Hill and say there's no bias, there's complaints on both sides, but it's nonsense. They just want to censor us because it helps their guy and Joe Biden. They talk about election interference where they're actually the ones doing the election interfering over on Twitter, Facebook, etc.
I agree. I don't watch the news or anything like that. I've actually, even sad to say this, never voted, but I was going to vote for Joe, but my friends have definitely convinced me to vote for Trump. I mean, yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm glad, that's kind of what's going on. People are getting that red pill forcefully. And it's well, they're making the environment to where the red pill is all that's left. You have all this craziness going on. So it's what am I going to do?
It's so crazy. You almost think it's not believable, but it is true.
Right. It is.
Yeah, I know you have a lot of callers, so thank you so much for taking my call and keep doing the great work you're doing.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, great call. Let's get to some more here. Let's go. Alrighty. Hold on. All right, let me go. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, it's Sonia. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. About yourself.
All right. I just wanted to give you some updates on the transgender.
Alrighty.
I don't know. I'm sure you know what Tampax sells, right? What their product line's all about?
Yeah, they sell feminine hygiene, that type of stuff.
Yes, and apparently now they have this woke message out there that I saw online. They say not all women have periods. Also a fact, not all people with periods are women.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Here we go with the nonsense. So it's like, okay, where are you gonna put that thing to stop your, your cycle? Like, where are you gonna, like that? This is kind of a weird message to send. It's unnecessary to send because I would think that feminine hygiene products, that's not a gender neutral thing. Just maybe that kind of
Not
makes
at
sense.
all.
Yeah.
Very frightening. And then when I was buying something online, I don't know what it is, they asked me if I wanted to fill out a survey, totally random. So in the section where you put in your information, one of the questions was male, female, non-binary / third gender. So I was so stuck on that third option that I never saw the fourth one, and that one is self-describe.
Oh, wow, self-described. So you could just create your own gender.
I don't know, maybe say you're a unicorn and it'll be cool. I don't know why they need that information for anything anyway. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And there was another PSA floating around there. I think it's by those same people, that Lincoln Project. I saw someone in the chat say about how they said that Trump won a third term. They're making stuff out of thin air. But this one was about Halloween. And it wasn't about, safety, through COVID, maybe with the candy and all that. And it wasn't about, I don't know, how to be safe out there. It was about Halloween costumes. And the encouraging, once again, of, the boys dressing up as the girl costume and the girls maybe being Batman or what have you. And all I think about is, why are they so obsessed with pushing this down our throats? Because it's not a serious matter, really. It's a personal family decision, even if that was what you wanted to do. And it seems like these socialist Democrats, what they're called, right? They're dictating our values just because they think something is okay. They're like trying to make it, and then people fall into that because I have a friend who said that, a child could choose their gender, and she's only getting that from them. So it's like somehow they've become the moral, not the moral, but like everybody, like we don't look to Trump for everything. He's not our spiritual guide. He's just the man that's putting the policies we want. But they seem to look to these people for like everything that they do in life.
Right, kind of like a spiritual advisor, like a spiritual leader or something like that.
Yeah, what's right or wrong, they decide. And then it's so funny when you hear the other side, because like you said, once you open your eyes to this point and then you see MSNBC, you said to a caller earlier, it's like gibberish. You feel like you've seen the light, but you forget that other people are still back there and they're not where you are, and they're still falling for the bull. Someone had posted online saying that while you're worried about what Biden said 20 years ago, look at what the man in the office said 5 minutes ago. And I'm thinking, they're stuck on what he's saying instead of who he is. And I'm also concerned about what he remembers 5 minutes ago, because even if he had a spotless record, how can they overlook the fact that he's feeble, forgetful, and that, I don't know, they want Kamala, I guess. They want her too. That's the real deal.
It's not really about what he said 20 years ago. It's about what he's saying right now and what he cannot say right now. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And then, forgetting who he's running against, talking about 4 more years of George. It's about what he's saying right now, the crazy things, and also what he's forgetting to say right now. So that whole 20 years ago thing, that's just not even an honest comment at all.
No, and I hate to stay on the transgender thing, but one more before I go, because this one really killed me. If you're a breastfeeding mother, there's a site called La Leche League, and it's supposed to guide you. It's for lactating women so they can help breastfeed. I don't know what the hell this has to do with transgender, but they already have the verbiage in there. I saw it the other day, and they say that they're committed to serving everyone, and they list all the things, race, religion, ethnicities, blah blah blah, and then they throw in there gender identity. And other protected status. So they have all the lingo. But what kills me is that they put in trans men, trans women, and non-binary individuals who choose to breastfeed or chest feed their babies. I was blown away.
Wow, chest feed. I mean, is that? I was going to ask if it was possible, but I'm just kind of confused about the whole situation in general.
Yeah. No, it's too much. And one more thing, I heard Hirono, when they were putting in ACB, instead of saying yay or nay, she said hell no.
Oh, yeah. I think I did. I saw that too. It's crazy.
She marched off, they say.
Crazy.
classic. After those ridiculous questions she asked the woman. All right, ABL, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. And it was so nice to hear from that conservative black art teacher. If she's out there, please, let's connect. I have a school-age kid at home. I'd love to talk to her.
Oh, definitely. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Ciao. Bye.
All right. Shout out to you guys for coming in. If you couldn't get on the chat, I got to end the calls right now, so it's not my fault. You got to blame the white man for not being able to get on, but you guys got to call back again next time. I'll be live again on Saturday night, of course, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, I'll be live again tomorrow, of course, on Brandon Tatum's channel. Y'all got to go ahead and come through on that one. It's not a call-in show, but you guys are welcome to join in the chat. Me and my brother Brandon Tatum might bring on their guests. Who knows? I'll hit them up to see who we're going to have. But you guys will find out tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Brandon Tatum's channel. And again, Saturday on this channel, another call-in show, 8 p.m. Eastern. And you guys have been great. This has been one of the best shows I've done. Every show was good with you guys. I can't do nothing else. But before I go, I got super chats to read. So y'all don't go nowhere. Just hang tight for a minute. Give me about 15 more. And then I wrap it on up, put the bow on the top. Again, thank y'all for being here. If you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. And click the bell right there so you get notified whenever I go live and or post the new video. Alrighty, so let's get to some more super chats. And where was I at the last time I looked? Thank you to Kerry Jordan and Mason Davies for your donations. Thank you to AJ. I read that one. Let me see. Shout out to Ian Kenny, who says, ABO, we need to bring attention to the conflict between Taiwan, India, and the CCP because our media isn't. Trump has been backing Taiwan independence from China. Hashtag Taiwan is not China. Hashtag Taiwan is a country. Hashtag stand with Taiwan. Thank you to Abby, who says, y'all, we have to fight for our conservative Republican senators up for re-election as well. North Carolina's Tom Tillis is running a tight race with a fraud. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for your donation. That's a very, very important thing to understand. Shout out to Tom Tillis. Y'all go out there and vote for Tom Tillis coming up in North Carolina if you've not voted already. Thank you to Clown Sheep 22 who says, ABL, hi ABL, big fan. Keep up the good work. You're the man. Thank you for that. Thank you to Chelsea Biggers who says, great calls. That poll seems on point. Love it. Thank you to Ivory Steele who says, one love ABL from Bronx, New York. I've lost some friends being a Trump supporter. Shout out to BX and Y. And you know what? You're going to lose friends, and that's fine. But, you know, you end up gaining more by just being you, in my opinion. From what I've been able to see, from what I've been able to read, that's kind of how it goes. Thank you to Michael Bon. I can't pronounce that, so I'm going to just say Michael, who says, did you see the Uber guy video with Judge Joe Brown? I think I saw a thumbnail, but I didn't watch it yet. Shout out to Uber guy and Judge Joe. Thank you to Shalisha Thompson, who says, Trump said Jesus Christ is the boss. Vote Trump. There you go. Shout out to Roman Tech, who says, thanks for all you do. Thank you for your donation. Sharon Librarian says, ABL, all that China stuff the former DNC talked about is on YouTube. I've been watching it. Really scary stuff. Yeah, he was on point. So shout out to him, the former DNC guy. Hey, man, very good call. Dexter Hearn, thank you for your donation. Thank you to You're So Cool 23, who says, I'm in Nebraska and the news made me so mad. If you live here and you don't know how cold it was yesterday or didn't dress for that, it's a personal problem. Exactly. That's what I would think. It's like if you're in a place where it gets cold and you know what it's going to be that evening, and you got to dress for the occasion and be prepared to be out there for a while. It is what it is. Thank you to Lord Grape, who says the radical left are proposing nothing like the founding fathers had in mind, Trump 2020. Shout out to Lord Grape, who also says the Democrats are so cocky about the black vote. President Trump has started a movement that will push more even after he's gone. Exactly. Like this train, it's just going, it's on autopilot. It ain't going to stop. It's just picking up steam. It's going down. A decline, but the decline it ain't gonna be no end. It's gonna keep on going. You know, it's going to keep rocking. When Trump's done, when he's gone, it'll keep on moving. He also says, you, Larry Elder, and B. Tatum have contributed the most to my red pilling. I switched from D to R in March 2020. Love it, man. Love it. I'm glad you're over on the right side, boss. Let me see. Thank you to Lily, who says, hey, ABL, do you mind shouting out our local Trump Back the Blue car rally? It starts at the Marshalls in Statesville, North Carolina, Saturday at 1 and ends at the Concord Mills Mall. Candy and costumes welcome. Thanks for all you do. And thank you for your donation. I appreciate you. I'm going to read that one more time. If you're in Statesville, North Carolina, or anywhere near Statesville, North Carolina, there's going to be a Trump Back the Blue rally. It'll start at the Marshalls in Statesville this Saturday at 1 o'clock, and it'll end at the Concord Mills Mall. Candy and costumes welcome because you got Halloween coming up. Shout out to Boo Vodan, who says, hey, ABL, there's a new star on the horizon, Magnificent. He's really good. You should try to get him on your show or a Zoom thing you do with Tatum. Yeah, shout out to Magnificent. I know Magnificent. I met him before. Really good dude. Thank you to Bryce, who says, I'm an American deplorable chump and proud of it. America will rise stronger under the Orange Man. Yeah, Orange Man good. The user 06 says, excellent broadcast tonight, ABL. Have you seen the new Lincoln Project ad with the mom walking their son, telling them Trump won a third term? It's hilarious. I got to see that. It's like some kind of dystopian future. Oh, he's in there again. He's a dictator. He's Xi Jinping. I got to see that one for sure. 409 says, God bless the people opening their minds and truly looking at what is happening in our politics. Absolutely. Thank you to Charles Turner Jr., who says, to quote Jericho Green, that transgender stuff is nothing but alphabet soup group BS. It's all based on feelings and emotions. Exactly. 1,000%. All right, you guys. It's been a great podcast, a great live show. This show will be available as a podcast, speaking of that, on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, all that good stuff. There's a link for that particular podcast, I guess you would call it portal, in a link in the description box below, or you can just search ABL Live in Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, wherever your podcast home is. Just search for me, ABL Live, over there. I should pop right on up. Super chats, 2 more that just came in. Thank you to Michael, who says hello from Easton, Pennsylvania. ABL, thanks for your honest, straight up coverage in these difficult times. Ain't no problem, man. I can't do nothing else. And thank you to Joe Ryder 84, who says people who identify on the left seem to a failed personal life, and that's why they're wanting these liberal identities for their failed life. Yeah, that might be the case. You know, a lot of unhappy scrappies over there on the left, just really mad, face scrunched up, all this and that. You know, about 25 years old, lucky about 87 in the face. Just, you know, live a happier life. Just be you, be naturally yourself, and you'll feel better for yourself. And do the right thing by others and yourself. You'll have a better life overall. You'll be rewarded in kind. Okay. Don't do it just to get rewarded, but do it because it's right. Do right, and you'll be fine. So that's all I got for tonight. Thank y'all for being here yet again. I'll be live again on Saturday with the live show, with the live call-in show. I'll be live tomorrow on Brandon Tatum's channel for the stream that we do over there. So that is a wrap for me. So shout out to the moderators. Of course, you guys do a great job. I see my man Killer Sushi. I see Charles Hunter Jr. I see, who else? I see Bill from the Hills. I see True Helper. I see Dave Murphy. Shout out to you, man. Rapper 10,000. I see you. True Helper, of course. You guys, Zedric King Sword. You guys all do a good job. So thanks to thanks to everybody that super chatted, PayPal, that chatted, that shared, that subscribed, that watched, that told a friend, that told a friend. Thank y'all. So that's all I got for now. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.